Warning. It is the opinion of the 4th Street Productions LLC and the Working Perspectives podcast that we should inform you that some of the language used in this recording could possibly be considered offensive. You have been warned, so if you decide to listen to the recording, then don't complain about the language. Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk to some real people about some real things, living real lives, doing real stuff. This is the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by jdub, Justin Richardson, Captain Jerkbeard, Tom Lavelle, and Schwap Game, Steve Cabot. And our special guest today is the one and only Imo Ahonkhai. You can find all our stuff and all our content and all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can have us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast, and you can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok. Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. Please like and subscribe so I can get surgery on my voice. This is the Working Perspectives Podcast. jdub, are you ready?
I am. That throat's not, but I am.
Sure isn't. Captain Jerkbeard, are you ready?
You know what? Maybe my proudest moment ever. You persevered, you worked through, and you got that Twitter and the TikTok.
Sure. Schwap Game, thanks for joining us on the Tuesday show. You ready to get this thing started?
Sure. And I enjoy that Tom was cheering you on, but I'm concerned that you're dying from the inside because that's how it sounds.
I am. All right. Well, this is the Working Perspectives Podcast. Let's get this thing started. Let's go.
It's our objective to be effective by voicing societies. Working perspective, exploring your day and how you get paid. Launching a new episode every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with new episodes available on every platform. So check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid. Share and subscribe. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. Working perspectives.
All right. Let me tell you. Strong Stem, take it away.
So today, obviously, we got a guy on special to me, a really, really close friend of mine. Known him a long, long time, right? So I'm not going to go through a whole spiel about how he's a good guy, this, that, everything. You'll meet him. But anyway, the big one is one of my favorite stories ever. So me and him have a really, really close friend also. And this guy happened to be his birthday, right? They're in their, I guess, 22. He's like 10 months older than me. I'm 21. We're right in that area. It's my buddy's 22nd birthday party, right? We go down Old City. We get a limo. His girl gets him a limo. We're 21. He's got like a 20-year-old girlfriend. She gets him a limo and shit. We lived in Manayunk at the time, all Andover. Scoops us, gets us all up in the limo. We also have Perk with us, who Perk was like 17 at the time, but had a fucking fake ID. So somehow he's partying with us. Anyway.
Scanned. He had a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, John worked. So we're in Old City at that time it was called Foggy Goggles, right? Forget what it's in some famous building. I forget what it is now. At one point it was like Coyote Ugly. It was all this weird shit in that little spot, right? So we pull up there because Beetlejuice from the Stern Show was supposed to have a boxing match. And now you're going back 16 years, right? 17 years. So Stern was on top then, right?
For sure.
So, on 94.1 and in Philly all the time, blah, blah, blah. Yep. So, we're there for the Beetlejuice boxing match. He's also boxing another, I don't know how you say this politely nowadays, a midget. So,
that's not
whatever.
How you say it. But...
I fucked that up.
It's fine. We can let midget fly. It's not one of the trigger words. Midget flies.
Now you're making them fly. Wow.
Yep. So,
he knows the words that don't fly.
The other midget did not show up. And so when that happened, Beetlejuice was just there to party, right? Yeah. So we're all having a good time. We get out of the limo in Old City in a time when also we happen to have a player on the Eagles named Terrell Owens, right?
Oh, shit.
So the second we step out the limo, bunch of drunk ass dumb broads are like, oh my God, there's T.O. And in a nice, polite, enormous, deep voice, Imo tells them, no, I'm not T.O., I'm Imo. So they're drunk enough. They pretty much still hear T.O. So now I'm stepping in front of him like, oh, that is T.O. I'm like, shut up. That is T.O. I'm his manager. If you guys want to ride in the limo, if you want to hang out with him, you want a fucking autograph, you got to come to me. And they were like, oh my God, it's T.O. It's T.O. And he's back there like, this is fucking ridiculous. I'm not T.O. And he walks into the bar. Anyway, the commotion this guy creates and the people that you'll never meet a person on the planet that says a bad word about this guy. A real close friend of mine, Imo. You know, it's gonna be a good show. You got a good story.
Yep. So
I got something bad to say.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
You want to hear something bad?
What?
We were on a soccer team together. We were going to a tournament. Imo was probably our best player, shockingly. We needed him.
Why shockingly, Tom?
Yeah, why shockingly, Tom?
Why shockingly?
Because he's a great athlete.
Oh,
Played in college. We'll get to that.
Oh.
So, you fucking idiots. So, my man is a very good football player. He chose the football game over our soccer tournament. Soccer tournament didn't go too well. I did see highlights of the football game, though, and I think he had 4 touchdowns and did pretty well.
Yeah, he chose the man sport.
In the Gwynedd League.
Yeah.
But Imo, thanks for coming on, man. So happy we could get you here. Dude, getting you on, honestly, it's just another feather in our cap of the great guests that we get on this show. And we do, we categorize how well this show does by the quality of guests we have. And you're a fucking class A guest, man. So we thank you so much for being on. Super happy to get this going. But before we get started, I would just like to ask, what movie do you think is better? Godfather Part 1 or Godfather Part 2?
Oh, man, off the bat, I don't even remember both movies well enough to even tell you 1 or 2. I was more Goodfellas.
Sure.
Sure. I like Goodfellas more than I like Godfather. I can tell you that.
All right.
It's part 1 by
What do you
default.
answer?
It's part 2. It's absolutely part 2.
What about cheese puffs or cheese curls? Do you like puffed or crunchy?
Cheetos, crunchy or puffed?
All right. If I'm doing Cheetos, they're flaming hots and I'm paying for it. But first and foremost, I'm lactose, so I try to stay away from them.
That's right. That's right. That is one thing me and him. That's one thing nobody will ever learn is that people who don't eat cheese, it is a rough life out there. Me and Imo both aren't cheese guys. I would say every other sandwich I've ever ordered, when I specifically and broadly tell them that please have no cheese on this cheeseburger or ham burger, not cheeseburger. Please don't put cheese on the ham burger. I got cheese on my fucking hamburger.
Steve knows.
I know.
Struggle's real out there, guys. I mean, there's always sorbet, right?
And sometimes I'm all high, so I just eat it anyway. What the fuck? Then I'm like shitting my pants. It's a fucking mess. Mess.
I mean, you can't peel cheese off a cheeseburger either. That's like, it's there.
Not once it's melted.
Not once it's melted. It's there.
Nope. Game over.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well,
I need a redo.
So, all right, Imo, man. Thanks for coming on, man. How are you, dude?
Man, I'm doing well. Happy to be here. Heard great things about the show. Tuned into a couple episodes.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Love what I saw. Love what I heard. So I'm just happy and excited to be a part of it.
Awesome, man. No, I'll tell you, you're one of the guys that, because we've had, like Hill's been on the show and obviously Steve and like all those guys, your name's been thrown around a lot in like the stories and everything that's come up. So honestly, I think for, our longtime listeners, which there's a lot, that they're going to be like finally excited to put a face to the name. You know what I mean? Dude, all right. So one of my earliest memories of you is, like Tom said, you guys played soccer together. And I just remember you played defense and we were on the sidelines and it was at like a tournament or something. So I was there that day watching and you just ran up and you guys had white shirts and the whole front of your shirt was covered in blood and it looked so bad because it was a white shirt just covered in blood and Imo's like holding it over his nose because he took a soccer ball to the schnoz and dude, brutal.
I think that was the first game of that tournament too.
Yeah, I don't think I had any subs. I feel like we were even shorter, man. So I remember when it happened, I was like, oh, I think my nose is starting to drip. I was like, oh, yep, definitely bleeding. And I looked over at the sidelines and I guess it was Coach Adair. He was just like, threw his hands up like, well,
tough shit. No
you
one's
can't
coming
sell
out.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Different times.
Held my shirt
Oh,
over it and just played the game out. I can't.
That's
remember
right.
who won or lost.
That's right.
Dude, I mean, imagine if you're like a 12-year-old kid seeing this fucking dude with blood all over his shirt coming at you for the soccer ball. I'd be like, hey, you win. Take it. I don't even want it. Yeah.
No kids were letting up. No kids were letting up. So
what are you gonna
I think
do?
we had like a game the next day, and like you came back, and the shirt was like nothing had happened.
Bleach,
Like,
baby.
What? That's and everyone's like asking your dad, like, how did you get that clean? He goes, a lot of bleach.
He's like, I've gotten rid of blood before. Don't worry about
That's
it.
right.
So, all right, let's talk about then. So you're born in Colmar, PA. Right? You live there till you're about 10. You're the son of immigrant parents from the country of Nigeria, right? So I don't, that Nigeria, I mean, all you hear is bad shit on the news about that place. So I can only imagine like what life was like for your parents, but they came over here. Both of them are like, in their fields, or like the highest level in their fields. Your mom's a doctor, right? And your dad's like a mad scientist, right? So, dude, it's incredible to see. But you came over here, you lived in Colmar till you were 10, then you moved to Timber Creek Apartments, and then lived there for a couple of years, then you moved to Lower Gwynedd when you were 13. But let's get started. So when me and Tom went to Catholic school from first grade to eighth grade, right? And people thought like Catholic school was a private school, but you went to a legit private school, right? You went to Gwynedd Mercy Academy, but getting there wasn't always easy. So when you were younger, right, you have two older sisters, then there's like a gap, and then so you have three older sisters total. Your two oldest ones are like a few years older than you, and you're directly above you sister, right?
Correct.
So they're in high school while you're in like, first and second grade. So, and Gwynedd is nowhere near Colmar. So and like the bus didn't go there. So how are you getting to school in the mornings?
Man, so in the morning, I remember my oldest sister, B, she was responsible.
Shout out to Bio.
Yeah, for getting myself and my other sister, Imo, ready for school. And they were probably, I'm trying to think, they're like 9 years older than we are. So I was about 9 years old. My other sister's probably 11 when they're getting us ready. Getting this huge green ugly station wagon, drive over to North Penn. And man, I felt so embarrassed walking in there because I had my Gwynedd Mercy Academy uniform on, and then picture this first grader. Like the thing that I loved about Catholic school, or the one day I looked forward to, was no uniform day, where you could
dress down day. Dude, dress down day, baby.
You already know, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm walking into this high school. Everyone's already dressed down except for my dumb ass and my sister. I come in. I had these black shoes on.
Yeah.
Blue,
penny loafers? You got the penny loafers?
Penny loafers.
Oh.
I had gray shorts on because you had to wear shorts.
Oh, shit.
I had a white shirt with probably a maroon sweater on top
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
I felt like a clown.
Yeah.
And I sat at the table with my sister and all her friends, and they all made me feel comfortable, made me feel
nice.
Like,
yeah,
I wasn't just a weird, odd kid sitting there waiting for his bus to go to Gwynedd Mercy. But it was pretty cool.
But I mean, so from what you told me, you're older. Your two, like your sisters, are all stars, right? So like, especially your oldest sister, we went to a school. Right. The public high school near us is massive. There's 3,000 kids there, over that, and there's only 3 grades. It's a massive school. Your sister is the best female basketball player to ever come out of that school.
Hold on. Matt has the most points of any person, boy or girl, in that.
Oh, shit.
A lot.
Oh, wow.
Outscored. No boys beat her yet either. Has the highest boys or girls.
So
what happened to you, Imo?
I decided I didn't want to, tarnish her reputation.
Let her live. Let her live.
But so
real quick, when I was in high school, like I guess I was a freshman at LC, and we could when I turned, I think 13, you could go get working papers. But to go get working papers, you had to go to North Penn to go get your working papers. And I remember having to go to that school in my fucking uniform.
Yeah.
And it's like the worst feeling in the world. And like I was in there, and I wonder if anyone really even cares. You know what I mean? But you just feel like you're like,
Yeah.
oh, man,
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
stick out
supposed
so
to be
much.
here.
Yeah.
And then what's funny is then when I ended up going there later on, I just thought it was funny one day to show up in my LC uniform. So I wore it just to be like, whatever.
Yeah. But so you're legit. Like, I mean, like I had an older sister, but she wasn't cool. But your sister is legit the best basketball player to ever come out of a pretty decent basketball school. Like there's been some good players and she's the best. So she's pretty like, you know, at that point, she's pretty cool. People know her, but she's also like, I gotta like, were your parents like no nonsense? Like, I don't give a shit how good basketball player you are, how cool you are. You're taking your little brother to school and you're sitting with him in the cafeteria and that's the end of it. Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
No nonsense.
If anything happened to myself or my, you know, any of my sisters, they
Oh.
always go for the oldest. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They would
Talk about no nonsense, Matt. I remember when we were young bulls, Imo's parents at some points would make him like you had to pick a night. He could either hang out, it was Friday or Saturday, and the other night he's gonna stay in and, you know, study and do something right, like make yourself smarter, do something.
good parenting.
Not hanging out with the assholes over there. Look at me.
Yeah. I was speaking of like, yeah, bad parenting decisions. You fucking, how did this guy get here? Yeah, for real. Jesus. But so, okay. So, but when you're like, you're hanging out in the dude, because you're sitting there in your uniform, you're the youngest kid in the building, right? Your kids are there. Like, did anyone ever mess with you? And I'm not trying to be a dick, but there had to be someone saying like Carlton jokes, right? Like, no one. All right.
Man. Look, I'm telling you, nobody like and my sister would fight too. So
Oh,
like,
shit.
nobody's really messing with.
Yeah.
Me
How
at
tall
all.
is your sister?
She's like 6'1",
6'1",
Oh,
and she's
damn.
also an athletic ass girl.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. If she punches you, shit gonna hurt.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
is
she wasn't
definitely
afraid to
athletic.
fight
Yeah,
everybody.
freak athlete.
Yeah.
Who's
So
gonna pick on the sixth or like how old were you, Emo? Like, come on, no one's gonna be.
Yeah, I
mean
mean, I
to-
was six years old.
Yeah,
but,
Yeah, people
Yeah,
are probably
the
that
guy
nice
that's
to
gonna
Piece
pick
of
on
shit.
Yeah,
there's people
unless I
that are
don't remember-
assholes.
Unless I don't remember something happening, nobody really said anything except good stuff to me.
Nice.
All the cute girls would always come around like, oh, your brother,
Yeah.
your brother.
Ooh.
The advantages of older sisters.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
they come over and
Young
watch
ass
movies. on
city.
the
That- an
weekend,
advantage
like,
I never had.
Oh, I'm scared, like, oh, come over here, your brother. Yeah.
Hell
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. And then
comfort me.
the older dudes too were pretty cool to you.
Yeah, older dudes were cool. At the basketball games, my sister's basketball games, they'd be like, yo, Emo, come sit over here. So I'd sit with like all the older dudes in their cheering section and root for my
Oh,
sister.
That's
That's
great.
right.
Everyone else.
That's fucking great.
And just to be fair, I'm not trying to be shitty, but just to be fair, not only is she a ridiculously good basketball player, she's very good looking. So of course the Bulls were like, yo, come here, little brother. I look,
Yeah, being nice to him.
He loves me.
Yeah.
Because his sister's very good looking too.
They were trying to get in with the little bro.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Gotta
Dude,
play
that's
all
awesome.
angles. Everyone was working each other for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, that's like refreshing to hear that they like accepted you and like were like, hey man, be part of the team kind of thing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay. So then we talked about Gwynedd Mercy. So you're at Gwynedd Mercy, right? And I had no idea that like Gwynedd Mercy had all these sports, but apparently there's an all sports award. Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
So
all
what-
sports award.
Okay, go ahead.
From,
What's that?
From 4th grade until 8th grade to graduate, they have 6 sports: football, basketball, baseball, soccer, track, and swimming. So if you
Where
played,
the fuck is wrestling?
if you played at least 5 sports, wrestling's not a sport. If you played at least 5 sports, you get the 5-sport award. But
Emo,
of
it was
course,
good seeing you,
everyone
buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
everyone wanted the 6-sport award, so we would try to get that 6-sport award.
How did
Not
I
to say
mean?
I was the best at every single one of them, but I tried them all,
Did you do swimming too?
of course.
And so, but swimming and basketball aren't they at the same time? So like,
Man, I don't know how it
When
happened.
when you're a
where we
little
went to.
kid,
We
yeah.
probably had the stupidest meets that probably all took place at our school.
Yeah.
We swam against each other for all I know. I
Yeah.
just remember somebody took me there, and I got the award at the end of the year. That's all it
Nice.
is.
Hell yeah.
They're like,
Yep.
here's a Speedo. There you go. Take it easy. Yeah. Nice. So then, but there was one sport you would kind of like Tom said, you played soccer, you did all that, but eventually you would stop playing soccer and there was a sport that you would really latch onto, and that was football, right?
You mean he realized that he was a man and not some fuck boy, so he went to play football instead of corny ass soccer. I'm sorry.
Played
Probably-
football instead
Probably
of
regrets
football.
it now. Probably regrets it now.
I'm sure his
I
knees
love
and
them
his
all.
shoulders are, yeah.
I love
He
them
could have
both.
played anything. Emo could have probably played anything. Probably track too. He's probably pretty good at. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
man,
know.
they're all fun, man. But I guess I was trying to lean towards football, and unfortunately, on the high school level, you have to pick certain sports during certain seasons.
Yeah.
So I had to let soccer go. And I love playing with those guys. I mean, we were together probably on the same team for 7-8 years.
Yeah,
Maybe
it was
if
a
not
while.
even longer. And not even soccer. We're playing baseball together, maybe even basketball, some of us. So we saw each other multiple times throughout the year just through sports. And I didn't even go to the same school as them. So
Yeah, you and Tom would do that. You would play football or you play soccer together on a travel team, and then you'd play baseball together too, didn't you?
I think so. We had to play MTBA.
I think once, like 1 year, but then I was Lansdale Little League.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we probably played together at least once. I know I
Yeah.
played together with Mo 1,000 times on MTBA leagues.
Yeah.
Sorry to throw his name out there, but
It's all right. He's a fan of the show, listener to the show. No,
couple others.
yeah, no, that's cool, man. But no, I mean, honestly, we've talked about it and on the show before because I have kids, Tom has kids. The importance of putting your kids in sports can't be understated, or any activity, really. They just have to do something, no sitting at home all day, and they have to be active, they have to be involved, and it's really more for the interaction with the other kids that you need. So that's good that worked. Nice, dude. That's awesome. And then so you and Tom were kind of hanging around this time. I remember. So I'll say this, Emo, when I first met you, you're a pretty solid dude now, but that wasn't the case when I first met you. You were like, you were fast and athletic, but you were pretty thin, right?
I was small. I was usually one of the smallest guys, especially like football. I remember at least like fourth through sixth grade. Always the smallest, running back. It was easy for me to get through holes.
Yeah.
I guess other people couldn't see me, especially in sixth grade. I was just small little stature guy like Barry Sanders, just popping through.
Yeah.
And then taking off with my speed to score touchdowns and stuff like that. But yeah, I had the speed. Luckily, I guess the Nigerian in me. Maybe got it from my mom and dad, but I use my soccer skills. I'd kick off and I go run out of the field and make the tackle. Same thing on the punts.
Wait, you were the kicker and the punter and the running back?
Kicker, punter, running back. Defense played safety.
So you would kick the ball off, run down the field, and tackle the guy.
Be the guy to make the tackle. Yeah.
You were legit never off the field though. Like you played both special teams, like defense and offense. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, it's I'm sure you guys all know, to be able to play sports and just have fun and do certain things outside, man, that's what we live for. So
True.
I love to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it was.
I think the one time, because I think I picked you because you were behind like the Chinese restaurant there on like 309, right?
Yeah.
And so then we picked you up at the Chinese restaurant. We went and saw Mortal Kombat, the movie.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that song. That was that song. Oh,
that movie, shout out. That was a pretty good movie. Luke Hanks.
What's up?
That
They
song
remade
awesome.
it too.
I'll take your soul.
The remake was all right.
Mortal Kombat.
Finish him.
Right.
Mortal Kombat was big. Yeah, but that's what, like, I think it was like we were playing soccer, and I don't know if you remember, like Coach Adair, like he was kind of intense with his yelling and shit like that on his side, and like people. So I think like when he started to like I don't know if this is what it was for you, but like you're obviously excelling at football. And like I said, I remember I slipped over to one time and you're showing me these like videos and like you're scoring like all these touchdowns. I'm like, oh damn, he's pretty good. And so you know, when you're doing that and you're like the star and you're scoring all the time, like not to say, but like you were playing sweeper. So it wasn't like you were scoring all the goals, but like it was a real important position to like be the sweeper because then they weren't scoring goals. You know what I mean? So like, is there maybe something in you're like, you know what, I was scoring all these touchdowns. I want to do that. I want to be the star. Like, I like that, you know, like I'm kind of the guy.
But also he never left the field on football. And there's some
he never left the field on soccer.
But I'm saying, but there's some games soccer where he wouldn't see the ball for 10 minutes because it's at the other end of the field. Like he's legit seeing the ball like almost every play and involved in tackles and stuff.
I would tell you probably, you know, I liked that aspect of playing sweeper. You know, because I used to play a lot of striker before that, especially with playing with like the A-team guys before I transitioned, like way back in the day. But playing sweeper and like stopping the other team from scoring, chasing down their fastest guy, I used to love doing that. Chasing down, get the ball and like kick it to somebody else, you know, on offense and get that offense started. So I remember Penn Ridge. I hated Penn Ridge.
I hated Penn Ridge, dude.
Still mad that I didn't even close to it right now.
Yeah.
And the one kid on Penn Ridge's name, TJ. His name was TJ. I can't remember what his last name was. But I hated that kid, hated everything about him. He was a striker, I was a sweeper, and my goal was to stop his ass all the
time. Every time we played Penn Ridge, I was like, I don't like this team at all.
Yeah. I didn't like them when playing with football either. They were always
something about Penn Ridge.
Is it strange that you talk all this shit about how you'd like to stop their best player, right? I'm into it, Imo, right? Because I've known you a long time. I'm into it, right? And then you became a receiver, and all that shit you just talked went to the wayside because now you want to shit on the guy who's a defender in football.
True. Very true. Very
it's a different aspect. He liked every aspect of it.
So let's get into
what happened is too. I'm sorry.
I was like,
no, go ahead,
Tom. A safety.
we were playing, and I think when we first started on that team, I think we were both playing striker, and so we were both playing strikers. And then it was maybe a year or two later, they came up with this thing that we called blitz, and so it was a play where the coach goes on the sideline and he goes like this. He yelled out blitz, and next thing you know, there's two people playing sweeper, or I think maybe even just you. Was it two? I think it was two people. But it was like you and someone else playing sweeper and everyone else moved forward. And we just like everyone kind of attacked. And then if the ball got loose, Imo chased him down and got it back. And sent it up. That was like our strategy. Do you remember the blitz though? He would go on the side.
I remember the blitz. I remember the blitz.
Mr. Adair was doing that.
And that's how you know Coach Adair is like, and to be honest, he was a good guy, but he was like,
he was intense. He was just intense.
He was there to coach.
He was there to coach, but like, he didn't know soccer, which like, I think a lot of like, you know, my parents didn't really know soccer. They didn't play it. You know what I mean? So
nobody in America knows soccer because it's fucking gay.
But so
do we have to cut that?
Gay is fine. Gay flies. Let gay fly.
We're gonna cut your whole square out.
Hell yeah! Score one for the gays.
But you could tell he wasn't someone like that knew the sport, but he was trying to teach it and probably learn it himself. So
that was half
there was all these unorthodox, soccer especially,
and
like football.
Mainly for his son, so his son could be on the team too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I asked Tom.
Not the best person on the team.
Yeah,
he was not. I wonder what he's up to.
But you say he wasn't.
Can we move on? I can't stand this.
I do want to ask Tom.
No one cares about your 8-year-old shitty soccer. Let me hear about this man's life.
Tom,
about your shitty, bullshit, non-existent American sport.
You want to talk about singlets?
and dry humping other bulls.
Yo, Tom, what about
coming up?
What about Dare's bar mitzvah? Did anything happen there?
Oh yeah. So Matt Adair's. Well, you know what? I've always been kind of a smooth operator, I would say, and so I would
disagree, but I hear you.
I remember grabbing
he's got a resume.
Imo's mom. We had a nice dance on the dance floor and everything. She loved me. Imo's mom loved me, and I loved Imo's parents too. They were great, but she, so I was like a Eddie Haskell type, if you know what I mean. I was like, oh, you're looking great today. How you doing? From Leave It to Beaver. I was a
You're a
charming
smooth
individual.
operator.
Don't hate the player, hate the game, man.
I just remember I was getting all the moms out there dancing with them.
I mean, shout out.
Yeah, Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood's mom. Yo, Mrs. Abrams. What
Hollywood's
happened to
mom.
Hollywood too?
Hollywood's mom was all right.
I think so.
All right.
He was
So
a
let-
cute little, like a cute little Italian woman. You know who was
Wasn't Joey Mag on that team?
yeah,
too?
Joey Mag's
Yeah,
dad
Joy
was cool.
Magazine.
Joey Mag's dad was really cool.
R.I.P.
What?
Never mind. It's another story.
Imo and him, I remember, were slapboxing the one time at a tournament, and I was like, "Uh-oh, here we go."
Yeah, he also tried to fight another North Wales
I-
legend and got his
I-
fucking head exploded.
I remember.
Oh yes.
I remember
Yes.
Sean Munley.
RoboCop manhandled that bull in front of 1,000 kids at North Penn for banging his girlfriend, which is hilarious. He wanted to fight him and then got his ass beat.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
he.
Rough one.
Yeah, I
That's-
remember.
I like Joey Magazine.
He picked the
I-
wrong guy though. The second he picked out Joe, I was like, all right, okay, yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, fight
he
him.
kinda has
Fight
to.
him.
Yeah, no, yeah. What's he gonna do? Be Will Smith? Wait
Yeah.
6 years and slap a guy?
Yeah.
Yep. And that guy didn't even bang your girl.
Yeah, dude. I
I
remember
wanted to.
Munley said that watching Jay Romeo fight Joey Mag. He said it was like watching a lion.
Dog.
He said Romeo was like a
Devour
lion.
And then
Yeah.
the kid Dustin Goodwin kept stepping in and like pulling Jay off from mauling him and being like, start back on your feet. And I'm like, the same shits, because it was only me, a kid Tyler Katolko, who became a crazy Marine. He's the man. And then Ian Hogan and who else was with? I think it was just us four walked down, and Mags had the entire senior class. We were sophomores, had everybody there waiting. And I could hear like some of the older guys like, damn, that Romeo dude's pretty jacked. And Jay already just did like fucking 10 weight rack sets. Dustin Goodwin pulls him off a couple times. Finally, after like Joey Mags doesn't want no more, and Romeo's like, I still want to fight him, but all these these older upperclassmen are gonna fucking jump me if I keep beating them up. So then eventually, like Romero and a bunch of other old school, old head North Wales guys showed up, and they were like, no, who do you want to fight? And then we had to like chase Mags to the car. He ran to the car like a homo. But and then he became, now he's Gigantor, right?
I don't know.
I don't really know him, but I would say I wouldn't want to fight Joey Mag. Like, I don't think this is really like, this is more of saying that Romeo like could jack someone up. Like, I think Joe Magazine isn't like the softest dude ever. You know what I mean?
Way.
So-
I agree. I 100% agree. That's why
Yeah.
Joe thought he'd beat Jay's ass.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Joe's not a bitch at all.
Yeah,
It's just
So,
he picked the wrong.
he picked the wrong guy.
Oh
you know?
God, the worst guy. It was
Even the
terrible.
toughest guy is gonna lose a fight to Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean?
Yep,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
goddamn
yeah.
right. You're goddamn right.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's keep it moving. So, like we said, Imo, you really stuck with the
Not soccer.
You said goodbye to soccer and you
What
focused
could
on
have been? What could have been?
and you focused on football, right? And then so you end up leaving Gwynedd Mercy, right? But you stuck with the private schools and you went to LaSalle, but you had other options and something like that. So what was the deal with that? Like you did end up going to LaSalle, but you were looking other places and what kind of swayed you to pick LaSalle?
Yeah. So as you guys, I don't know, recall, going to high school, we had certain days where we could choose to visit that high school and have like, I don't know, lower classmen, freshmen, sophomore, whoever, walk you around the high school, show you the ins and outs, what classes like, what the sports like, what the basketball courts like, this, that, girls, I'm saying, everything. So
What you mean,
I
girls?
I took advantage of everyone I could go to because I wanted to get out of class myself and just check out another school. So I went to Germantown Academy. They wanted me to go there to play football. The coach specifically had one of the guys that went to my grade school show me around Germantown Academy when I got there. And he played a running back like I played a running back for my grade school. So he showed me the cafeteria, classrooms, football facilities, all that good stuff, told me I'd be starting, this, that, and the third. Like everything was, great about the school.
Nice ass school.
Can't say anything bad about the school.
Is
And I'm
this,
pretty sure
this
they're
said
offering
GA
some type
or
of-
GA. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm pretty sure they're offering some type of scholarship. I
Yep.
can't really remember at this point.
What didn't they have like a bomb ass cafeteria?
Yeah, so when
They got all
we
types
stepped
of
into the
crazy facilities.
cafeteria, yeah, I see the chef, white apron, white
The
hat,
hat. Yeah.
cutting this ham underneath this light. I'm like, oh my goodness, looking like I just stepped into the William Penn Inn.
Yeah.
This is just for kids to eat lunch. I'm just like, this is crazy. So that almost had me
Hell
sold
yeah.
right there. I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
you're gonna be eating well
You just
here.
sold
I can't-
me.
Yeah,
I
the
know.
burgers I'm getting from where I'm at right now, it's not the deal. Like this is
they're
it right here.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was all excited about it, and I was kind of happy. But all my friends were going from Gwynedd Mercy Academy to LaSalle,
Yeah.
or they're going to the prep, and everyone
Ugh.
knows. Fuck the prep.
Nobody goes to
Fuck
the
the
prep.
prep.
Yeah. Fuck the
FTP.
prep.
So sorry, DeAndre.
Yeah.
Slice on the
Fuck
lines.
you, Swift.
But yeah, so I went to LaSalle and got there, freshman team, all excited. Basically the same core of guys I just played with at Gwynedd Mercy. Get through the tryouts, everything goes well. Then the coach reads the starting lineup. I'm the number 3 running back on the team. So the starting running back, he came from, I forget what school he went to, what grade school, whatever. Joe Mixel, who ended up quitting after freshman year. The second string running back was actually second string behind me from 4th grade all the way to 8th grade at Gwynedd Mercy Academy. And then myself, the third string.
What?
Wait.
What's going on here?
So the dude that was behind you for 4 years jumped you on the 9th grade team? Why?
Yeah.
Like, was
Well,
it?
at this new school?
Well, what happened? Like, well, but
Yeah,
hold
what
on.
happened at the tryout that this like?
Yeah,
did you
like,
do something?
were you still like smaller? Like, what was going on?
Yeah, I still may have been. I was pretty small.
But like,
man.
you used your size to your advantage because you worked into your speed, right? Like,
Yeah, nothing happened. Nothing happened to me during tryouts. Absolutely nothing. When they read us the lineups or who the starters were going to be, the guy that was in front of me, who was behind me for those, all those years in grade school, he was looking at me like, what?
You're like,
I
they
was
recruited me and now I'm
Yeah.
3rd? Like, what?
Yeah, I thought it was just like a joke or something. So, I kept asking coach, let me get in. They were not trying to put me in the game. I'm like, man, this sucks. Wanted to leave, but stuck it out. I'm like, is there any other position I can play where I'll play? And that's why I transitioned to wide receiver.
did you have a decent quarterback?
No, the quarterback, all he did was run. All the quarterback did was run, and we had a really good running back too. Ryan Parfit. I don't know if you guys heard of him or
Yeah,
remember the
Parfit's a
name.
stud
Yeah, he played fast pitch softball
on Team USA.
for the
Yeah,
national team.
yeah, for national
Yeah,
team.
the US
Yep.
national team.
He's on one of my brother's teams for like doing they mess around. Yeah, Parfit.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good. So we ran the ball a lot. The quarterback who was, I think he got a scholarship to play at Columbia or NYU, one of them, as an athlete. He was an athlete. Wasn't the best quarterback. He was most definitely an athlete. Running
Yeah.
quarterback.
Yeah.
So
So
they weren't trying to basically, if they wanted to air the ball out, they brought in another quarterback, and everyone knew we were throwing. And he
yeah,
was slow as hell.
yeah.
And
So-
this is your freshman year?
Would this
So
be
freshman
all?
year, I tried to play running back.
And you got shit on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was
Politics
at
kind
the
of
end
shit on
freshman year, or maybe the beginning of their sophomore year is when I switched to wide receiver.
you. Damn. Yeah.
Did you ever get any plays at running back or anything? Or
So I did a couple times sophomore year when they needed a running back on the scout team. I was like, I'll play running back, just to show them that I can play running back. Now, some of the guys, the offensive linemen on the scout team were half the size I was.
Oh
And
shit.
By this time, I'm not the smallest person, but I was still pretty small. And every once in a while, I'd score. We'd be on the 20-yard line, have 80 yards to go. Every once in a while, I'd score, and I'd make it a point to run all the way to the end zone.
Hell yeah.
If I got through the starting defensive line, linebackers, safeties, bye.
This is basically the 3rd string offensive line and you're scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sending the message to the coach like, hey, anytime, buddy. Anytime.
Yeah, man.
did your parents ever say anything to the coach? Like, yo, what's going on? Like,
No, they didn't really understand. They, them not being from here. I'm
Yeah,
surprised
they had no
most
idea
of
what football was. Yeah,
did-
yeah.
did so well. You know what I mean?
Football,
Like,
them soccer.
Yeah. If I went to like, honestly, if I went to North Penn or a public school, it may have been noticed or I might have some people behind me trying to help me that, worked for the school or, coaches on the team trying to help me. So, but who knows?
Nice.
Yeah, because
nice.
for people listening too that are in this area, that LaSalle is now this powerhouse.
Yeah.
It was not the case when you were in school. They were not like a football powerhouse whatsoever.
No.
So like, there was, even though they do help you get to college, there's no push for athletes. It's more academics at that school, which isn't a bad thing. Nobody's saying it, but it's like, what it is. Where more public schools are like, I don't give a fuck if you fail in, fail out. You're a super senior, a fucking double freshman. I don't give a fuck. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
If you were to do it again, you going to Germantown Academy, starting running back?
Yeah, why not? That school's nice. I'm sure I would have made some
Fresh ham,
eating good.
sliced ham.
Yeah, the ham too.
So you would have done it differently if you hindsight?
If they would offer me a scholarship, like, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
I think I would have gotten over it after a while, not being around all my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got ham now. You don't need friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not eating like
right.
this.
But Germantown Academy, I mean, and I don't know about LaSalle as much, but Germantown Academy is like a college tuition going there. Even back
Same with
then.
LaSalle,
See, that's what, like,
but not as high, right? Germantown's a little more.
Now
isn't it?
they're real close now.
I can't even think about what it is now. But going to LaSalle, when I went to LaSalle, say it was around like $6,000 a year.
That's what Matt always
Right?
said. Yep.
I think Germantown Academy was in the 20s to 30s.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
saying.
back
and right now, Germantown Academy, like LaSalle, you're looking like 40. GA's like 55,
it's
60.
What's
How
the
Ridiculous is that?
I was
What's the
going to say,
one in
I thought
Pottstown?
Germantown Academy was $18,000 a year back then. For some reason, I don't know why. But
You
it was
thinking
like,
of
yeah.
the Hill School? Just
the the Hill School? You know how much that
The
is?
Hill.
I know that one's
Hill.
crazy too.
That
I don't
one's
know how much.
Up there too.
But
It was
not-
like
I mean,
Germantown.
Yeah.
I think
And
it's
obviously,
probably a little bit more.
Germantown, St. Joe's are like the two big boys. They're the ones that probably charge the most out of everybody.
Didn't you guys know John Stever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he went to the Hill School, or him
Yep.
or his brother went to the Hill School.
Yo, remember we were wrestling the Hill School and I stole a warm up and gave it to Brandon because it said Hill on it. He fucking loved it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I mean,
So
that's a Matt Lavelle story. I actually stole the jacket.
I stole it.
Gave to
I
him.
stole it.
Ah!
I stole it, but it
This is
didn't.
him twisting it up again. I was
No,
sitting right there.
I stole
Yeah.
it. I stole it, but it didn't fit me, and then it fit him, and then we gave it to Brandon because his last name's Hill, and it was the Hill School. That's how it went.
No.
So let's keep moving. So kind of at this time too, you would kind of get in and start working. You had a test run as a paper boy. How did that go?
Man, the paper boy, that was cool. I love the video game.
Sure.
All y'all that play Nintendo.
Video
8-bit,
games.
Shout out.
Shout
out.
back then.
Hit the jump,
Day
yo.
one.
Mm.
Right. I love that paperboy game. So, when I had a
Yep.
chance to finally become one and be one, I was like, man, I could make this game come to reality.
Nothing better.
One of my neighbors was going away on vacation for a week. So he's like, look, man, he's like, the bag's gonna come, newspapers will
Rolling
come
him up.
unfolded, whole bag of rubber bands, and then you have a little sheet that shows you, which house to deliver the paper to. Perfect. I can follow this. I'm 10 years old. What can I do? So
About to be president.
Top off.
10?
yeah, I was young, man.
Hell
Drop
yeah.
off, everything comes dropped off. I might have been even 8. I don't even remember. It was real young. And early as hell in the morning, man. I remember I was up for my parents, for anybody. It was probably like 4:45, 5 o'clock.
But you were like excited a little bit because you're like, I'm about to
Excited.
fucking paper
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, it's coming
Yep.
downstairs, probably didn't even eat
First
anything.
job, I'm gonna
Downstairs,
get some
came out the
money.
door, this little 8-year-old sitting outside by himself, putting all these papers, rubber banding them up, put them in this
Yep.
huge ass bag.
Scrapping.
I know when the route kind of started, so I rode my bike all the way to the start of it. I remember my friend told me where it started. Get there, I turn around.
Wait, you got like the sling bag with all
Got
the
the
papers in
joint,
it?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, man.
go.
Santa,
The
feeling like Santa
knapsack.
with these
Let's
papers.
Go.
ready
Yeah.
to get moving. About to be the crack of dawn. People gonna be waiting
Yeah.
on me. So
Hell
I'm
yeah.
looking at my little map thing. I'm like, man, what the fuck? I can't.
People
I was
gotta
like,
understand, no
oh,
phones,
shit.
no nothing.
I was
at
Yeah.
this point.
nothing,
Yeah,
man.
no
Yeah.
GPS.
Can't call
No,
nobody.
no.
Can't ask them any questions. I was like, I'm not riding all the way back with this huge ass satchel of freaking newspapers. So I just started throwing them in any house I thought I could reach. I just started throwing them.
Yeah.
Ran out.
Blessing
I didn't think I had
people.
one from my house.
Yo,
Blessing
So
people.
I'll tell you what, riding the bike with was not a good idea.
This
I'm like,
satchel or whatever it is,
falling
yeah, it's
over.
terrible.
Not for a little
Yeah,
kid.
it's tough.
Yeah. I had
Yeah,
the full
there's-
thing
send
the
us
one
out there,
time,
man.
and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't carry it because I was like, let me just put them all in there and do
Yeah,
one
yeah.
stop. And I'm like, nope, this is not working.
Crazy.
Damn, dude,
Here's-
fucking. Where's the adult supervision for
Yeah,
this?
hold on.
Exactly.
And do you remember this crazy part about delivering papers, right? So my brother did papers. He was older than me, blah, blah, blah. I jumped on it at the end. Remember back, this is how long ago this was. You used to have to collect on Friday from the people on your paper routes for their like weekly subscription. And I would bring that batch to the bitch, like a stack of fucking, I don't know, $30 at that point. It was like $1 a fucking week for the paper. But you have to, for the reporter, you'd have to scoop everybody's bread. And I was responsible for that. You got like a
Debt
fucking
collector.
10-year-old. I'm about to go buy a fucking, I don't know, 6,000 gummy worms at the pharmacy.
Yeah,
Don't trust me with this.
Steve,
funny.
where'd the rest of the money go?
yeah.
I pull up on my bike with brand new pegs and like all types of shit. I'm like, I don't know. They didn't pay me
The
this week.
reporter's hunting Steve down.
You'll never take me alive.
Nice. And then, but also okay, so the paper route didn't work out, but your mom,
It didn't work out.
your mom's got a doctorate in is it education or
Education.
okay.
Yeah, from
And
Columbia. Yeah.
From oh shit. Oh,
Yes, sir.
Put some ivy on it. All right. So
That's right.
and then she also ran she ran a daycare. I don't want to say the name of it,
Yeah.
but she ran a daycare and you would work for your mom there. How was that?
So that was that was kind of by choice. No real choice there. I was a youngin'. Where was my sister at though? That's the question. I was like 9, 10.
Yeah.
I don't know
Didn't
where
have a
my
choice.
sister was, who would have been like 11, 12, 13. She may have been in like camp or something, but I worked there with my mom. I play with the kids, help them, get situated, help them with work, help them, eat, make sure they go lay down for nap time. When they wake up, play with them again. take
Smash them in the
outside.
face, the dodgeball.
Everything. So my mom told me she'd pay me, but that was the little trap there.
She's like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's-
pay you. You got a
Yeah.
roof over your head.
Yeah.
You got clothes
Yeah.
on your back. That's
Exactly.
payment right there. Yeah,
You
You
yeah.
can't work.
I heard
you
that
can't
shit.
work directly for your parents. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll pull that
No.
shit every time.
Every fucking
Every
time.
time, man. But at
Yeah.
the end of the summer, she did get me a TV with a
Ooh.
built-in VCR.
Oh shit!
27-inch, stepped up from the 9-inch. Nine.
What?
Yeah, but
Yo.
no mind, I see that
Alright.
coming.
Me and Tom had a 12-inch TV VCR combo that we rode the fucking wheels off of that thing. I loved it. $150 at Costco, baby.
You know what's ironic is that our mom ran a daycare and also got her doctorate in education and
Nice.
also didn't pay us for labor that we did.
Child labor,
Yo.
free child labor is the best.
Yeah, is that what they teach you when you get your doctorate? It's like, hey, first things first, learn how to not pay the kids.
Yeah,
Get these kids working.
that's
Yeah.
right.
So wait, your parents are like super educated and everything like that. Like, when we got home from school, there was like a 3-hour period when we had like zero supervision at our house.
Yeah,
And so things
for
just
real.
got crazy, especially as like we got older.
Yeah.
So when you're coming home from school, you're going to like expensive school, are you on scholarship at LaSalle?
No scholarship.
So expensive school, you're one of 4, but your other siblings older. How old's your other sister?
My so it goes me. Then my next oldest sister is 3 years older.
Okay.
3 years older than me, and then the 2 oldest are I think like 8 and 9 years older, or 7 and 8
Oh
years
shit. Okay.
All right, but so like when you're coming home from school, is there like a set, okay, you're doing this, you're doing that, like this is the time
Homework,
to study, or,
chores,
like,
dinner.
what is it? Is it a same thing every night, or are you just like it was on your own and you came home and you made it happen, or were they
So-
like, no, you need to do this and that?
Yeah, so let me think about it. So up until I was about 10, we had our 2 oldest sisters watching us when we came home. I did remember though, there were a couple times when myself and my next oldest sister would come home, we'd be alone. I can't remember. I think that was because we just got home earlier. We were younger and my other 2 sisters were playing sports. So there were a lot of times we were home alone. We know how to get in. We usually just watch cartoons or something like that. I can't say that I was doing homework before my parents came home, but when they did come home, there was a time when I sit down there and do my work and all that stuff, and they check all that stuff. Yeah.
And they were checking it like regularly.
For
Because
the
I was
most part.
habitual. I was like, I'd come home, then my parents would come home at 6 or whatever, 6:30. And did you do your homework? I'm like, sure did. Did that homework. Did it really good. It was great homework. And then like 2 months later, it was like, Tom, you've done no homework. And it seemed to happen every year. They never really seemed to catch it, that I was just not.
What
So
grade did your mom teach? Sorry.
Well, my mom,
Yeah.
what grade? She didn't really teach.
She would run like she would be like the
daycare.
president of a school.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, she ran her own daycare.
She was like
and
administration
was a director of a daycare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then she did like ran some other schools for like children with disabilities. So it's not like necessarily a grade.
An
school
actual
teacher.
grade. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the as far as doing the homework and stuff, I could tell you that like the Nigerian mindset, and like when I was young, at least I know all my sisters, we were scared to like disobey, scared to do anything wrong. Like you didn't want to see
Did they have a
or
belt?
live through the outcome.
Did they have those leather sandals? Would they have?
Anything, leather, sandal, backhand, belt, like I said,
whatever,
my mom
whatever
throw
you need.
bricks.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
My mom punched me in the face when I was 14. I tried to mutter what I say, asshole. So
Oh,
Not having
shit.
I tried to do it this way, right?
Yeah.
Oh, did she hear? I was like turning back, blam! Hit me so hard that my head hit the window. My head hit the window, and I left it there. The
Oh,
whole
shit.
car ride.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
In the
In
car?
the car. In
Yeah.
the car.
Car.
Is that why they were so good at cleaning up blood off a shirt?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Baby.
Yo.
That's
So
so
Listen,
funny
Matt, you're
because I
learning,
thought
Matt.
your
Yeah.
parents were like the nicest people I ever met in my life. You know what I mean? And they
Oh,
are, I'm sure. But
they're
as
nice.
a parent,
Hey.
but-
Say, my mom
Hey.
never played the games. Most people's moms don't.
Yeah, you're not using the A word in front of her.
And an immigrant mindset is just a different mindset too.
True.
They're
Very
like,
true.
hold on, you have no idea how hard we took to get here and get you guys set up. Like,
You're right.
would you say? That's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what you know what fucking Nigeria, you know how tough it was to leave Nigeria, motherfucker.
Right.
You
right.
could call me an asshole in the car. Yeah.
You know how many I don't know how many like summer packets or reading packets you had during the summer that
Oh,
whatever
fuck.
school you went to.
I
sent
hated
you.
No,
summer
fuck,
reading.
My mom had
fucking
her
the
own.
worst.
My mom had her own. Those ones weren't even bad. The ones
Wait,
from
wait.
school I do quickly.
She had her.
The ones that my mom had lasted all summer long. She made sure like all summer
Mhm.
long there was not
What
like,
the fuck?
I wasn't doing one.
Bro.
to do book
Doing a book
reports.
report.
Yo, Confessions of Charlotte Doyle. Go
Yeah.
fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Hiroshima, eat a fucking dick. No fucking way. That
It's the
shit
worst
made
when
me so
when
I
you're
would
reading
burn
a
the
book and you're
fucking
looking
book.
out the window and it's all bright and sunny and your friends are playing around, flying kites, doing all types of fun shit.
Flying kites. You got some
Go book
shitty
report.
friends.
Smoking weed
So I was
under
looking
a
at you. I
tree.
was looking at you and Matt running around. I'm like, look, you reading this book.
Your mom's like, I'm gonna get you 10 more books, and you're not
Yeah.
playing with that fucking kid
She
out
saw
there.
Steve and bought it and started her own book club.
Yeah. She's like, I'm getting the Encyclopedia Britannica. Yo,
Oh, yeah.
but
Did
your
you
mom,
hear Jake too? Steve, who was the kid Jake that was on our team wrestling
Jake
team
Moore?
senior year?
Jake Moore.
Jake Moore.
Yes,
Jake Moore.
Jake
Did
Moore.
you-
That was one of my best friends. He lived right
Dude.
behind me.
Jake was
Jake
the
was
man.
the
I
reason-
love Jake.
Jake was the reason we won fucking district duels. Remember they put him
Against-
out instead of me, and
Yeah,
fucking
he
Mark
didn't get
didn't know what he
pinned.
was. So no, he got pinned in 10 seconds. But the guy that I beat the shit out of, then instead of getting Mark Smith on me, I beat the
Oh,
shit out of the other guy,
yeah.
and that
Yeah.
Mark would have pinned me, and that guy would have pinned
Pinned
Jake in 10
Jake.
seconds because Jake never wrestled a day in his life.
Yeah.
So you're
He's
welcome.
just like a short, strong
Jake was
guy.
yoked though. Yeah, when they
Yeah.
saw
yeah,
yoked ass Jake
I
run
remember
out
when he
there, they were
started
like,
lifting.
"Oh yeah, he got thick."
He stopped
Jake was-
growing when we were by like third grade.
Yeah, Jake was
Jake's cool, good guy.
he was a decent soccer player too when we were little.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I just remember being him on a soccer. He was quick. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that kid's pretty quick. You know?
Was he tiny when he's little too?
Yeah, he was tiny then too.
He was
he
like
older than
5.
us?
He was
I'm
like
trying to
5'4". He was a year
No,
older.
this
He was
was-
the same grade as you.
This was before. I want to say this was before travel. So like, I think there was a year when it was like, I think we signed up for like the regular rec league or whatever, and we played that, and then I think me and you were on an all-star team together. Actually, yeah, we were on. An all-star
don't
team together.
brag! Don't brag!
Well,
We
what they
all
do is
start
at the end of the year they get like the best players from each team, and they make like a
not
super
the shittiest
team.
ones, the
And
best ones.
Then you go play in a tournament. So we played in a tournament. So we played in this tournament. Either way, we lost the game. And we won 2 games, lost a game. The team we beat, they gave the championship to, but they had also lost a game to us. And I just remember being so pissed off, like, what the fuck? Like, we beat them. How are they the champions? And my mom's like, well, you lost to this team. And I'm like, but we beat them. Like, how are they, like this? And so I think we were giving you a ride home.
Soccer sucks.
No, I think we were giving you a ride home, and I was like crying and shit like that because I was pissed.
I was crying.
Is that Jake's team? Is that Jake's team?
No, I think I don't know if you were on, but I just remember playing Jake then in a team and being like, oh, this kid's okay. But I don't know if he made the travel team.
I can't remember why he was pretty good. He was my neighbor, man. He lived right behind me until I moved out of that neighborhood.
So like we said, your mom's a doctor, right? And my mom and mine, Tom's mom's a doctor as well. And she doesn't go by Mrs. anymore. Don't make that mistake around our mom, because she'll fucking chew your fucking head off. Be like, excuse me, it's Dr. Lavelle Lore. Okay. Yeah. Is your mom doing that too?
Yeah, she you gotta give them.
Is that why she punched you in the face?
Yeah.
She's like, don't call me mom, it's Doctor, motherfucker.
No, just like your mom, my mom, they put their work in, even though it's not, of medicine, they still put that work in, read all those books, did their dissertation or published whatever they did, they put that work in. So I'm with you.
Yeah, I didn't go to 8 years of school to be Mrs. I'm doctor.
Yeah.
But slow down with the yelling at me if I don't fucking know that at first.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I don't fucking know. I roll up, I'm like, hey, man.
And now you know,
She's like, it's Doctor. I'm like, all right, bitch. The type that saves people, or what are we doing here?
So let's keep it moving then. So you would eventually go after LaSalle, you would eventually go to Pitt, right? And I guess you said it was maybe like your sophomore year. That's when you really started to put on some yoke and really like develop, right? Like really like put on some good size. And
he was a little bigger after the freshman year. He came back and you could tell like his frame was a little bigger. And then after the sophomore year, he came back and all of a sudden he's fucking 6'2" and yoked. I was like, the fuck happened to the guy who was the same size as me? The fuck just happened? I gotta go to Pitt, guys. I gotta go to Pitt.
Your dad's a big dude. How big's your dad?
He's like 5'10".
Yeah, no, Tom.
Maybe I was just
not little. At all.
I thought he was big.
Not at all.
He's not small. He's not.
No, your sister's tall.
Yo.
Yeah.
Your dad's not tall.
Normal height.
He's 5'10".
Yeah, he's normal height.
Yeah, I'm 5'10" and 3/4. That's tall. All right, that's real tall.
For some reason, I just imagined 6 foot something. You know what I mean? I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a kid, you think everyone's fucking.
I guess
6'2",
so. Yeah.
All right.
But so let's keep it moving. So you played at Pitt, and you were wide receiver at Pitt, right? You played with a couple interesting guys. Do you remember any of them?
Yeah. So one of them, I don't know if you guys know him. Like 6'6". He played for the Ravens and won a Super Bowl.
Autobahn's finest.
Oh, old Delaware Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco, yeah. Before he transferred to Delaware, he was third string. He was third string, and he was on the scout team with me, which is pretty crazy. And also one guy that was covering me for the most of the time was Darrell Revis.
Jesus.
Revis Island.
Yo, you lived on Revis Island, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
I remember the first time Joe Flacco threw me a pass. It was I think we were doing 7-on-7. I ran a 13-yard in. And as soon as I cut in, of course I could see him because there's no line. But as soon as I cut in, you see this huge arm come, like it's like a slingshot. That ball came so fast, the football just bent all my fingers back. I heard them all crack and just dropped it.
Damn, he throws that hard.
He was
guy's a monster.
It was like it came out of a
tall
cannon.
shit. Yeah.
Wow.
Wasn't Palco on that team too?
Tyler Palco was the starting quarterback. Yeah.
And he
Oh,
obviously.
shit.
So at that point, you had a guy who won a Super Bowl and a guy who also started at the NFL.
Yeah.
Both played at that team.
Tyler
Damn.
Palco, Luke Getzey. Luke Getzey was second string, and then Joe Flacco before he
Damn.
transferred.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Nice. And then
And Larry Fitz just got done playing right before I started too there. Yeah.
damn, that's crazy. No big shoes to fill at wide receiver or anything.
Yeah.
Imo his sophomore year out of college lived in a certain house, right? And me and him, I drove this piece of shit out to Scranton to pick our one buddy up. Then from Scranton all the way out to Pitt, right? And on the way out there, I think we were 21. Grabbed a case of Mad Dog 2020s, right? Because we were talking about this, right, Matt? So we bring a case of like 50, or like, I don't know what the case was. It was like 16 Mad Dogs or whatever you got from the state store. We drive it out to Pittsburgh. Imo's buddies out there have never experienced Mad Dog. They were all like, oh, this shit tastes good. And there were some big ass dudes in that house you lived with. And they were all like, this tastes great. That night got a little wild.
Yo,
Mad Dog,
you straight time traveled that fucking night, brother. That shit. Oh my God, dude. Like that shit, you drink a Mad Dog in like half hour, 40 minutes, you're fucking going. And like, next half hour, you're fucking see you later, babe. You're fucking back. You're fucking Marty McFly in it,
So wait, did you have were you getting recruited out of Pitt? Like, so when you were at LaSalle, how good of a career, like if you're playing wide receiver?
Not at all. It was like I said, we didn't throw the ball that much.
Yeah.
And
so how do you get to
What's that?
So how are you like? Is
Yeah,
Pitt recruiting you or?
No, I didn't get recruited. I just went to Pitt just to go to Pitt. So my cousin, I call him my cousin, a good friend. He told me about Pitt. One of the days, like all those college cats come to your school and try to get you to go to their school. This guy was offering out scholarships, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm about to take the scholarship to Pitt." I was like, I don't want to go to Pitt. I had applied to other places. I was like, I'm not trying to go to Pittsburgh. What's out with Pittsburgh? So other places I applied to didn't really work out. And I was like, you know what? Let me call that guy that was offering all that free money at Pitt. So I called him, and he didn't have all that money, but he was like, look, I'll get you in. That I do this, that, and the third. So that's how I went. That's how I ended up going to Pitt. And then freshman year, my cousin and I were watching Pitt play Miami. Yeah. And I'm sitting there watching the game, and we hung with them for a while.
Yo, was this like
those years,
Miami?
Yes, those years,
Dude.
Miami. One of the greatest college teams that ever exist.
Yeah. It was around that time. So
right after
it was 2000, 2001.
Oh, bro.
McGahee.
Yo.
Gore.
Dude, Frank
Philip
Gore.
Buchanan.
Dude, Sean
Ed
Taylor,
Reed.
Ed Reed.
Sean Taylor.
Jeremy
Vince-
Shockey.
Vince
Philip
Wilfork.
Buchanan. Yep.
Oh,
So we hung with them for a half. I'm pretty sure it was 21-21 at halftime, but then we got smoked 42-21 after that. But I was like looking at that team. I'm like, man, I think I could play with those guys. So I asked my cousin, I'm like, yo, man, you trying to try out? He was like, yeah, I'll try out for the team. And we had to wait to winter conditioning the next year. So we tried out. We both made it. And I stuck with it for a couple of years. We got in a car accident the first season. The following, after the season, we were going home for something. And we got in a car accident where he hurt his back, or he said his back hurt too much. So he stopped playing. But I played for like two and a half years, basically. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you walked on?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there like, I could play with these guys.
Yeah.
That's
And
me
we
when
just-
I'm really drunk, I'm like, I can do this.
Yeah.
That Flacco can't throw for nothing. Let me get out there.
I mean, I told you, I lift weights. Like I lift with weights. We all lift with weights in high school. They lift weights on a whole nother level. I ran, or at least I thought I did. All their drills were on a whole nother level.
Division I program.
I was like getting ready. I was like getting ready, lifting and like running a lot to try to get ready for the winter conditioning, or no, actually for just practice. And that shit was intense, man. That shit was intense. So it wasn't after like 2-3 weeks where like I kind of blended in with everyone else. It wasn't like slacking or like lagging behind.
Yeah.
When do they make the cuts?
So they did winter conditioning. They do it through winter conditioning. If you make it through that, you basically make the team. And that shit was legit. There were mad people throwing up,
Like a boot camp. They're trying to get you to quit, kind of.
Yeah. I remember one of the drills, you get like a 2x4. You get a 2x4 and like you hold it on the ground, basically almost like an army crawl. You have to push it 20 yards, turn around and push it back 20 yards, turn around and push it again. And like that's just tough. Like just doing that shit. That shit was tough.
Dude, sounds fun.
Yeah.
So nice. So you fuck.
Gotta laugh.
Your
This guy
voice.
can't. Yeah, this guy
I'm
can't talk
trying.
for
I'm
shit.
fucking trying, guys.
Sounds great.
You
So you're
sound like one of my coaches, man. You sound like Walt Harris. He was from Cali.
Yeah.
He'd be
Hell
like,
yeah.
up, down, go up, down, up.
Thanks. Thanks for that.
So what's a team like? So like you walk on a team, what is that? Are you just embraced by like the whole team? Are you now hanging out with everybody? Do starters hang out with just starters, or does everyone hang out together?
Yeah, I mean, a football team, man, there's a lot of people, man. And I wasn't trying to like, not like I was trying to ride nobody's dick or nothing like that. But I think you got to at least play well. If you're horrible, then people probably won't want to associate with you.
Yeah.
Darrell Rivas, he was cool. He was like, he saw me. I used to date one of his neighbors. So he was like, yo, man, how do you know her? She used to babysit me when I was younger. Yo, I need to hang out with you, blah, blah, blah. But, I was also playing well, playing decently, to the point where I had to start defense, like, yo, make sure you give them a good look. We're playing West Virginia, we're playing the backyard brawl. Make sure you catch all the balls thrown to you and do this, do that, da, 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 da. So, I had people have, respected me for the most part. But I think you have to like be somewhat decent. Yeah. I wasn't hanging out, going to all types of football parties. That was back in the day when like Colorado got in trouble for that rapey stuff, and
Shit. Yeah.
all types of other schools were doing the most. So I made sure like big groups of like 20, 30, 6 foot
Meatheads.
Yeah, man. Like I'm not trying to be around all that.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Duke lacrosse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Backyard
Duke lacrosse.
Backyard brawl was wild. I went to one of those games before in West Virginia. I didn't realize that West Virginia and Pitt are like a fucking hour away.
Yeah, how about it?
So that backyard brawl, we went down there. Scheffler, who graduated with me, was a hockey guy, blah, blah, blah. They had this thing, the Pit. It was like this spot in the parking lot you chill before you go into like football games. And you just walk up and cops are handing out cups. I was like fucking 19. I was fresh out of high school. Guy just gives you a cup. I'm like, oh, I mean, all right, thanks, bud. I guess thank you. Don't arrest me later.
Dude, and everyone's just getting wild, just going nuts.
That was an awesome rivalry. They don't do that no more, do they? Didn't they stop the backyard brawl?
Yeah.
Fucking gay.
Let the gay fly.
Gay.
I don't even think they're not in the Big East anymore.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
So you would get through college. What did you end up majoring in, Imo?
I majored in economics. So I was trying to go to the business school and major in finance, but my advisor put me on like a weird track to where I would have had to take all types of courses over again. I would have been there for like 6 years. So
Fuck that.
yeah, I majored in economics just to kind of like get some of the finance and accounting stuff in there. So I could graduate on time. Yeah.
Nice. So then after you graduated high school, after you graduate college, and even before that, you started work, like you tried to get a job as a physical trainer at LA Fitness, right?
Yeah. So after college, when I was looking for a job, I was like, you know what? I like going to LA Fitness or like playing sports or whatever. I want to use an indoor basketball court. Let me just get a job there. So yeah, man, it was weird. Like the first day, this guy was like all intense. I think he drank like 12 Red Bulls and must have like snorted his pre-workout. But he had us all in this room, like, doing like 50 push-ups. I'm like, 50? Like, what the fuck? I'm like, I could do 50 push-ups, but why am I doing 50 push-ups right now, man? Like,
Yeah, dog, you ain't the coach. I didn't jump
yeah,
off
man.
sides. What the fuck
There
you
were like
talking about?
there were girls in there that were like crying and stuff. I'm like, this is like, what the fuck are we doing? So then he's like, go on, you going. He's like, all right, now whoever's left, blah, 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 blah. He was just way too intense. We were just there to kind of like help people lift weights throughout the day.
Yeah.
I ended up quitting, I think a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. Didn't last that long.
Yeah. Some people can ruin a job for you.
Yeah, man.
So then after that, you started, I mean, like we said, you got some size on you. You did your thing and you would start bouncing at a couple bars. Is that right? How'd that go?
Yes. So that was pretty well. I'm trying to think. I started doing that, I think at school a little bit here and there, just to help just to help some people out. But back home, started working at this place out in Southampton, which is pretty cool. Met our good friend John DeVito out there.
Shout out. Fan show, listener show, former guest.
Johnny
show.
DeVito.
Love Dorito.
To John. Also worked at Manayunk at a couple spots. And then Lansdale area.
What bar in Maniac?
Back in the day, it was
US
called
Hotel.
Tonic.
Oh.
Tonic?
Yeah, close to US Hotel.
It was now it's Lucky. Now it's called Lucky whatever, jdub.
Lucky's Last Chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it was
Bangin'
Tonic
burgers.
when Imo worked there.
That's what I
We used
heard.
to run
the
that
burgers
joint.
are really good.
Yeah,
I can't believe it. I don't even know where the kitchen is because there was no kitchen.
No kitchen back then.
Yeah.
And then you used to
And hold
at
on, Matt.
Hat Tricks in Hatfield, right?
Used to bounce and bartend at Hat-Tricks. Yep. First started
And
off
Matt,
as a bouncer.
The reason why Imo knows Dorito was I was at Henzo's back then and they needed bouncers at some spot at some bar. So I was like, yo, my boy will be a bouncer. And they're like, I mean, I just like, all right, is your boy train or anything? I'm like, trust me, my boy will be perfect as a bouncer. They saw Imo, they were like, hired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Doesn't even
Dorito
have
and a
to do
bunch of other
anything.
guys from the gym. Yeah, it was, again, every time I showed up there, because they didn't ask me to bounce. I guess I'm not fucking big enough, or maybe because I talk too much shit. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But whatever, they didn't ask
Fight
me.
all the patrons.
I don't know if you're
Right.
very good at squashing
Fight
the
'em all.
fights. Steve. You're,
So
you're-
anyway, I would go up there to be in this establishment, say. And I would look around and I'd see all these like dickheads in like, what was that, Southampton or some shit? Where was that? So I look
Yeah,
around and I see all these assholes getting drunk like I normally would. But I know who's bouncing at this place. And 3 of these guys will yoke you the fuck out. Straight Gracie, like brown belts and shit. I'm like, this is going to be fantastic. And nobody ever really got out of line in that place. It was fucking
Yeah.
annoying.
Eva, so sometimes there's guys that are bouncers that are looking to fuck
True.
someone up. You
Very
know what I mean?
For
true.
sure.
But
For sure.
that's to me, I would be the one trying to just let's de-escalate this, get people
Yeah.
out of here. Like,
Dog, I
pretty
get
much-
paid $10 an hour. I ain't trying to fight you. Get the
Well,
fuck
That's why we
out
didn't
of
hire
here.
Steve. That's why we didn't
Yeah.
hire Steve.
Yeah.
This guy's out there looking for drama. No.
Yeah.
You don't want anybody who's scared. I definitely have people that like when
Yeah.
shit goes down, they froze like
Yep.
ice cold. But you definitely don't want anybody who's out there looking for problems. Honestly, you want somebody who can like talk people down first and foremost. Then if need be, you have to remove people out of the situation, or you have to quickly disperse people, who are trying to throw down or trying to do whatever.
Or you got to hammer fist the top of their fucking head. Bang.
Well, I guess you could do that.
Just because like working in a bar, my big thing is just when I notice something starting, I go right away and try to nip it in the bud right away. And just be
I
like,
do
"Hey,
that a
look."
lot, and I try not to drag any attention to what I'm doing whatsoever. Because the last thing you need is a fucking crowd, because that can make somebody
Do it.
or
Damn
fucking
straight.
amp somebody to fuck
Or
up.
some fucking
You know what I mean?
chick being a dumb bitch. Yeah.
I've kicked a lot of people out of bars like so quietly and quickly. Other people had no clue. You know what I mean? That's kind of how you want to do it.
That's how you
Agreed.
want to do it.
Agreed.
You want to just like quietly, yo, it's time to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Hey man, come here and let me talk to you. Hey.
Now, are you talking like you got to pick people up and physically throw them out, or are you just
at
like
Hat-Tricks,
escorting them? To the door?
at Hat-Tricks, there was one time. Okay, well, I've done a lot of both. But at Hat-Tricks was one time. This Hispanic dude, he was getting a little like he was drunk. He was getting a little too like handsy with the bartender. So every time he'd pay for a drink, he'd hand the bartender a bill, and then when she'd go to take it, he like try to grab her hand and kiss it, or like try to rub her hand.
Yeah.
And she told me, I'm like, yo, bro, you gotta chill. So then he did it again. I'm like, all right, no, we gotta go. Right. And he was at the corner of the bar. I don't know if you ever been in Hat-Tricks or
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
He was in the back corner.
Okay.
So I'm
So
standing
wait,
behind him
like he would have to get all the way out
all the way around.
shit.
Yeah. So I'm standing behind the bar talking to him. I'm like, yo, you gotta go. So like I walked from behind the bar. It was like kind of like gonna walk around towards him now, but it looked like he was like the way his hands were. They were underneath the bar in like a V. So I'm like, is this motherfucker trying to piss?
Yeah.
on the floor? So I ran over there. I'm like, oh, what are you trying to do? And he was trying to take his joint out to fucking piss on the floor.
Oh,
I'm like, bro, you gotta go. So he had his money, got his money
So
from his
mad,
pockets.
yo.
And it's like, well, I'm like, yo, come on.
Yeah.
Grabbing his arm, he's not paying attention. So finally I'm like, yo, come the fuck on. And then he just like goes lip and falls on the ground. I'm like, motherfucker's on the floor, looking at me like, kid. So
Still
I'm
in the
like,
cut?
bro,
Is he still in the
I'm
cut?
like, get the fuck up. He was just like, So I grabbed his arm. I drugged this motherfucker all the way past the beer to go, just the cigarette machine,
The
out the one
dartboard,
door, out
down
the
the
other
ramp.
door, then down the fucking concrete steps, around the corner, past the windows again. And I was like, don't you ever come back in this motherfucker ever again. And
He's
all
like,
his money was all over the ground. It's like $100. Yeah. And he was just like, okay. And then that was it. But nobody knew.
You're just dragging a body out of the bar, like,
Yeah.
and all his
Dude,
money was falling all over the ground.
When we got outside, his money had fallen all out of his pockets.
It's
And
like,
he had like hundreds of dollars, on him.
It's
You're
like when
like,
you're,
I should take that money, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I know, right?
it's when
I was
you're,
thinking about it, I was like,
yeah, that's your tip for having to drag them out.
I had one time I had to get someone out, and like I had him like you know what it was? They were trying to get in their car and they were annihilated. And I'm like, dude, you cannot drive. And they were like, fumbling all over the
fuck
place.
you.
I mean, the guy
Yeah.
must have dropped at least $1,000 on the
Idiot.
ground.
Oh,
And I'm like, I could just grab this fucking $1,000, no
that's
problem.
crazy.
But
Let them leave.
I didn't do it. Hindsight, I
Yeah.
should have.
Bullshit.
I mean, you never know, man, with stuff, man. I kicked this one girl out of hat tricks. She, her friend was like, yo, she's got to go. She's too drunk. And she was causing some type of scene. I kicked her out. She was giving me the worst evil eye the whole way out. And I'm like, trying not to touch her because I try not to put my hands on chicks.
Yeah,
If I
smart.
don't have to, I'm like trying to like guide her out. Like, come on. And she's just like clenching, didn't want to go. So she finally leaves. Her friend comes to me probably half an hour later, like, yo, she just slashed my tires. She did have a knife on her. She said she did have a 2-foot knife on her, something like
Jesus.
that. I'm like, what?
Oh,
2-foot
She told me that
She
machete.
got a fucking machete.
Yeah. I'm like,
I'd have
Jesus.
jump kicked her machete wielded dumbass right her head off her shoulders.
Well, that brings up a good
Swing that
question, guys.
dumbass sword
When
around.
is it okay to hit a woman?
When she has a sword in her
When
hand.
she has a
I'm
Right
knocking
there.
her teeth
Right when
out.
she yields that thing, I'm missile kicking her out the fucking door.
Right? Yep.
If you have to unsheath your
Oh,
weapon,
you can.
Yep.
Yeah. That's where watching Mortal Kombat comes into play.
That's
I'm Dalseeming that bitch with the long leg all the way out.
Oh,
test your
Dalsina.
might.
so. So let's keep it moving. So you're bouncing at a bar and you would eventually meet a guy he introduced you to like working at a call center for a mortgage company, right? How'd this go? Because eventually you would start there, but you would work your way up. So how'd you get in there? How'd you work your way up? How'd that go?
Yeah, so one of the owner's good friends, I guess he put his friend in charge of the bouncers because they got rid of the guy that Steve kind of knew that kind of hired us, Sean, the state trooper.
Sean was nuts. Yeah.
Whatever
Sean
it
was fucking, he usused to wear,
Yeah.
do you remember this guy? Do you remember the state trooper, Matt? Sean, who used to wear, for anybody in
Nice guy.
Henzo's back in the day, this bull wore he wore the, what do they call them in fucking Brazilian? What do they call the underwear? Oh my God. He pretty much wore a Speedo, basically.
Yeah.
They're like, and he'd always be stretching out and shit before like practice. And I'd look over and half the guys were like, I ain't going with Sean today, dog. He ain't got no underwear on. The bull's in just little ass tight biker shorts, and that's it.
I just found out the other day that y'all wear drawers underneath your singlets. I was like, do you wear? I never like thought about it before.
Dog, you come bare dick with me with no singlet. We're fighting, yo.
That's what you said.
Fighting,
He's like, you better have 2 layers. I was like, yeah, I guess I never thought about that. I also thought you guys were
between
cups.
wiener and people.
Yeah, you need them layers, yo, because that makes it way less gay.
So
Way
yeah,
less gay.
Speaking of less gay, so you're working at the call center for the mortgage company. How's it go?
Yeah,
Sean.
it's going well. Our new boss got me a job there. He was like the manager of the call center, and he was like, you were gonna help convert leads for loan officers so they can sell loans. And he's like, if you're good at it, they'll make you a loan officer. And they're like, yeah, if you're pretty good at the job, we'll make you a loan officer in like 6 months, a year. But after like 2.5 months, they had me start to train and become a loan officer. So I did that, and that was going pretty well. But then 2008, man, the
Bubble
recession hit. and things were tough, man. Everyone was upside down. A lot of homeowners that we were dealing with, especially in like Maryland, Florida, the taxes were killing them. The homes were upside down. They had interest-only loans. This shit was sucked. And I saw a lot of guys. I was in like my early 20s, but I saw a lot of guys, older guys and women that were like pulling their hair out. Like, how am I going to pay for my kids' tuition or this bill or that? And I'm like, man, I can't be stuck in this industry, man. It was 100% commission. You could make a whole bunch, but then you could go months without making anything. I said, I can't
So,
live like this. So
was this around the time like you had hit kind of a rough period where, like, you know, this stuff isn't going well, you were having trouble even getting a job, and your parents threw you out, and you had to move in with like Matt O'Connor and Steve and Ian and Bobby and like Bobby Knox and all those guys? So like, how, like, you're getting through all this, man. It's good that you had your friends that you could rely on and stuff like that, but that sounds like a tough time. What kind of things were you doing to get through that, and how eventually did you get through that?
it was tough, man. You know, luckily, there was Steve and them, and
Luckily.
I mean, yeah, I didn't really have anywhere to really go that I could afford at the time. I didn't have a job. And then shortly after that, Ian's brother let me work with them. We were doing like home insulation and insulation for the government. We were basically
Ian
insulating.
Hogan's brother.
Yeah.
Ian Hogan's brother, yeah.
All right, shout out Ian, fucking good dude, real good dude.
Easy.
Fan of the
Yeah,
show,
the
listen to the
best.
show.
He is a fan of the show. And
He
listens
is.
to the show.
He is.
And will
He's
be a
been-
guest on the
he's-
show.
He's been critiquing me and talking shit the last couple of weeks. This motherfucker. Fuck
Yeah,
you, Dub.
Fucking
Dude,
then.
that's everybody to me that listens to this fucking show.
Yeah. But nah, he
608. No, sorry.
All right,
his
so go
brother had
ahead.
us
Sorry,
working with
Imo.
him.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. His brother had us working with him doing that insulation and stuff. And then that's when I learned, man, long sleeves, and don't have any skin exposed when you're insulating houses, going through crawl spaces in the
Hell
hot
no.
ass fucking dead of summer. That shit sucked.
Rough
Putting
job.
that fiberglass in there. Yeah, so we did that for the summer, and luckily,
Wait, you're in
wait.
like attics,
Wait.
right? You're in attics and shit with the heat.
yeah,
Oh,
fucking
fuck all
animals and tight ass
Yeah.
crawl
Oh.
spaces.
Yo,
Like-
why long? Like, what's the deal? Like, the fiberglass can't touch
Yeah,
your
you
skin.
get itchy.
that. Itchy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
like-
real?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It'll go in the pores of your skin. Then if you use hot
Rashes.
water, it like opens the pores and it hurts even worse. So you just
Yeah.
have to like wear long sleeves. and
Oh,
just-
fuck.
yeah,
In 103.
Yeah, in
And
an
fucking
attic.
dead dick July
Yeah.
in an attic with fucking dead rats everywhere. Oh my god.
Dead
Squirrels
rats.
and
And
shit.
if one
Yeah.
came at you half the time, like you couldn't even really move. You couldn't move fast enough.
Yeah.
Oh, because
Yeah.
Fucking maul you until you
And-
crawled slowly out of there.
God.
You're like,
That
look,
shit was
we're
fucking-
cool.
I was so
I'm
scared.
getting out of here.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
see ya.
But that shit was that shit saved us. I mean, we made a lot of money, but we were young and we did a shitty job, and the government wasn't happy about that. So they stopped giving them the contracts. And I started working at Hattricks. That's when I started working at Hattricks. Ian got me over there, started bouncing. Bouncing and then slowly, surely started bartending too over there. Yeah.
Okay. And then when would you, so you had a girl that you met at Pitt, right? And she's your now wife, but you guys were trying to get more serious and trying to do the damn thing. And she was like, she was at her family home and felt kind of cramped there, and she wanted out. So how did that work out? Did she move in with you and Steve and the guys, or what'd you do?
Yeah. So right there, right around when I started working at Hattricks and with Ian's brother, she moved in. I remember a couple times she was there interviewing herself, and I'd come back like all sweaty, fucking gross, and have to take a shower and go to work at Hattricks later that night. But she came from New Jersey. She was looking for a job at an animal hospital that she had just left an animal hospital in New Jersey where she worked. And she quickly found a couple jobs, in like a week or two,
Nice.
which was great. So yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you this, man. When I first met my wife, I was bartending full time.
You were taking showers when you wanted to.
You motherfucker. I can shower 3 times a week. All right. No. when I first met my wife, I was like bartending at Graham's. I was bartending at the pub, and I was teaching boxing at Henzo's, right? And when I met her, like we started dating, she's like, look, if you want to make this serious, you need to fucking get a job that has 401k and benefits and health insurance and PTO and all this, or it ain't gonna work with us, right? And like her helping me, but also like showing me I can do different things, help like make me do like, you know, it helped me get an office job and like, you know, get all the stuff that she wanted that would make our life better and easier. But her pushing me and helping me with that was like unreal, you know? So when you're with your girl and she's trying to get more serious, is she kind of putting some pressure on you saying like, look, motherfucker, you want to be with me? I'm getting my shit together. You want to make this thing work? You got to do your thing too.
Yeah. I mean, it was tough around that time. You know, I was at the point where I was taking any job I could get. So Hatrix was a start, but it wasn't really enough to begin with. It was just, you know, dollars here and there. So I started working at Boscov's. I applied everywhere. I started working at Boscov's. I had a suit on to go interview at Boscov's. I was probably the only person that had a suit on in the whole store, but
no, sure. Fuck the
in the interview, the guy was like, what department do you want to work in? I was like, I don't know. He was like, well, you have a suit on, you might as well work in men's suits. I was just like, okay. So I sold men's suits for a couple of years, which is pretty cool because, you know, it was almost like being like a barber or even like a bartender. You know, I rap to people. I helped a lot of people pick out their prom outfits and stuff like that. So that was cool. That was fun, getting them all, you know, tight, nice and dressed for prom out. I really enjoyed stuff like that. Even helping the larger cats find size 50 waist pants, you know, was just
holy
like,
fuck. You're like, dog, hold on. Let me run these around you real quick.
Apparently Boscov's is like the only place that went above size 42 or something that. So, you know, it was, you know, I learned a lot, man. Definitely humbled. Definitely learned that if you change the price of Gildan tees from $2.99 to $3.99, you have a whole bunch of upset people on Sunday at Boscov's. But
shit.
Yo,
shout out Gildan. Gildan,
shout
fan
out
of the show,
Boscov's.
listen to the show.
Gildan.
Yo, we got some Gildan merch. Don't hate the fucking.
Don't sleep on Gildan.
Hey, my
don't raise the
Wissahickon
price
shirts
on
are
them.
Gildan.
Yo, I had some sharks out there that were coming after me when they raised that price of Gildan tees.
Jesus.
But
we were like, it wasn't my call.
Yeah, I just work here.
Price is a price, bro. I know I'm wearing a suit, but
so
I'll call Mr.
I'm
Gildan.
not the guy.
So
we made it the 13-year-old in the Philippines that stitched this bad boy together for 12 cents.
Yeah, they had to get those fucking 13-year-old Filipinos had to get a union. Now I gotta pay $1 more for my fucking Gildan. But so okay, so you're at Boscov's. You're doing the gimmick at Hatrix, bouncing, and then did you start? Is this when did you decide to go back to LaSalle?
So yeah, I started going back to school around this time too. I was like, you know what, let me try to get my MBA in accounting because a lot of the jobs I was applying for were accounting type, finance type roles.
Yeah.
And they were saying, well, you don't have the accounting degree, you know, you don't have the finance degree. I'm like, well, that's what do you think economics is? I take all those courses and some, but it just wasn't working. So I was like, you know what, let me just bite the bullet. I wanted to go back and I wanted to go back to graduate school anyway and get my MBA. So I was like, let me just focus in accounting. That way I can have
like, did your were your parents pushing it? Like, get your fucking
they always wanted all of us to go to graduate school.
Okay.
If we could, but you know, and then they were pushing me.
Yeah.
Not terribly hard, but they kept mentioning it. You know, I should go back.
Yeah.
Now, is there a chance that you are applying for these jobs and they say they want you to have the accounting degree? Is there any way maybe you think like, can I fudge this paperwork and make it say that I have an accounting degree?
I like
and
it.
Is that a possibility? Like, how much do they really check? You know what I mean?
Honestly, I probably could have done that back then. you could probably do it now.
Because
I
you
don't
knew
know.
all this stuff, like you
I
could
just
talk
didn't
the
know.
talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't know. I didn't know what was possible, and maybe I would have done some more things back then. But I to tell you the truth, I couldn't say no that it wouldn't work. But
I mean,
I
yeah, you see all these bumper stickers for universities on the back of people's cars. You're like, why Wyoming State University? Like, that's state, it's a state college, but like there'll be some weird ones like Little River University. You'd be like, no way, that doesn't even exist. You
I've
could
been
easily
trying
say,
to get my mom to do this for me. I'm like, Mom, you're retired now. Sign
Yeah,
up for the online courses. Put my name in there and just do them for me. I'll pay
Yes.
you. Get me the
Yes.
degree, Mom. I'll
I
pay
like
you
it.
for my degree. Just go get it for me.
especially for like the people who,
I bet you can't do it.
like your
Yeah, I should
economics
say that
degree.
to her. Mom, I'll
Like-
time you.
Like many of those courses overlap anyway. Like they would
Yeah.
apply to that degree
Right.
anyway. Like the people who have 10 years experience and then are going back to get the degree,
But
like that 10 years of experience should be worth, 30 credits basically.
Right.
I'm just curious if you were to say, I've got my accounting degree, I got it from Pitt, and I got this and that, and you just went in. I wonder if they would ever know any of the wiser. Like, are they really going to check on it? You know what I mean?
Only if they ever want to get rid of you. They'll find out and be like, oh, now we can fire them the day we want to.
I remember people used to put their like GPA on their resumes, but I'm pretty sure there was a time when people stopped looking at that stuff too. Like how much would somebody have to dig to get that information?
Right.
It seems
Yeah.
like if it looks good, if it kind of looks good, looks in order, we're like, yeah, we'll give him an interview.
Yeah.
And you
You know?
impress them in the interview, and they're like, yeah, this guy, we don't need to check that shit. He seems like he knows what
Yeah,
he's talking
he
about.
seems cool. Let him, you dap him
Mhm.
up. You're like, I like this fucking guy. He's
Yeah.
in. He's
Yeah.
fucking in.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you would start bartending at Hattrick's, right? You got the Tuesday shift. You kind of made that a decent day shift, right? So they started giving you more shifts and you got some good money there bartending. You would bartend a couple other places eventually, but you were bartending at Hattrick's and you were, doing your thing at Boscov's, but eventually in 2017, you would tie the knot with your girl, right? So how was that?
Oh,
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool.
that was
So
fucking awesome.
she was there, almost died throwing stuff off of
The top of the Marriott, dumbass Ian finds a fucking way to get upstairs. We go upstairs and start you leave North Wales kids all wasted. What do you fucking want? It was a great day. We were at a wedding. So we go up to the top of the roof. Everyone's up there. It's like Matt, Kevin, blah, blah, everybody's up there. We fucking one dickhead. It only took one to throw a bottle down. And I got some dope pics because the top of his hotel at the Marriott, you have City Hall directly like across the street behind you. So you can have like the clock behind you with the pictures on the roof. But then we threw a bottle up, and when we saw it incinerate, there's something about every kid who's ever done bad shit, or boy, deep down in his soul, when you hear some glass smash from some high ass spot, you were like,
again.
we were like, we found that I was kicking off roof fucking vents and throwing them
Gargoyles.
off the roof. Dog, anything I could rip off the roof was getting thrown off the
They're
roof
like
that night.
peeling off the roof to throw it off the roof.
Jesus.
Fucking
Well,
pieces of shit.
The wedding was a good time though. All right, we got married. It was a great time. Steve was there. He could testify.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's when I met. Yeah, married my wife, and it was nice just to have my good
Shout out
friends
Kim's sister.
a part of the party. Shout out to Kim.
I love you.
sisters.
I love
Kim
you.
has a big family like I do. She's one of 3 girls, and
Yep.
the youngest is a boy, and I have 3 older sisters. So our family makeup is the same,
Oh,
which is
nice.
pretty cool. But a lot of women, not a lot of men.
And educated people. What was their pops? Pops was like a
Oh,
fucking
educated.
judge, right?
He was a lawyer. Mom
A
and
lawyer.
dad
Yeah,
lawyers.
yeah. Yep. Educated
Good
people.
lawyer,
Smart people.
accountant, educator.
Yep.
So yeah, it's definitely great family combo there.
Mhm.
All right. So then you would continue to bartend, and then you got a bartending job at a couple other places like Pizza Pub, Smokehouse, and they're all owned by the same guy. And then, so then, like it was the same manager from Hattrick's, right? He would go to Pizza Pub and Smokehouse, and they were owned by the same guy. So you start working there. And then, so you kind of were able to get your own schedule and do your things, and you kind of got the primo shifts, right? And then, so what did you end up, how long did you do that for? And then when did you make the next step?
So yeah, it was a little tough because it was like getting married, saving, for the wedding, going to school, all that stuff was happening at the same time. I worked at Hattrick's, worked a lot of shifts, and finally, saved up enough to get married, and then was able to change my schedule to where I didn't have to work all those extra shifts anymore. I kind of had weekends available to spend with my, new wife. And then the manager left and went to the pizza pub. So that was like a selling point of me going over to the pizza pub. Not only was it getting slower at Hattrick's, she was like, I'll let you keep the same exact shift you had. I just helped you create at Hattrick's over at the pizza pub. Perfect. And also there's a night at the smokehouse too, if you want to work at the smokehouse. So I took that, I went over there. That was pretty cool. And then also still kept going to school. I had, it originally started as a 2-year program, but it was way too difficult to work full time and to take those classes full time. So I had to take only half the coursework, if not even less, in order to graduate. So that's what I did. Just worked at the bar during the night and went to school during the day until I graduated, and then started applying for jobs, and finally got one after about 2 years working for some software engineering company in Exton, a contract work. That was like a 3-month contract that got extended twice.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Or a 3-month contract, another 6-month contract. And then I was in talks to go back. That ended in December 2019. I was in talks to go back, and then coronavirus came and hit in 2020, right before. So that sucked. Just knocked everybody on their butt for a while. And then in that summer, they had actually reached out to me. I was away on vacation. I actually went down to Florida in June. They reached out to me, asked me to come back, but I missed the email. So when I finally saw it a couple of days later, they were like, "Oh, we already hired somebody." I'm like, kicking myself. But I just kept applying for jobs, and then I found one for a life sciences company doing accounting, based in Philly. So I've been working with them. Working from home ever since, and then still working at the smokehouse on Thursdays, and then picking up other shifts as well. Yeah,
good, because that guy at Hattrick's, that owner back then was a fucking dipshit.
Yeah, Bob. Not a lot of people liked him. He was.
I liked him.
You did?
He's fine by me. No, I mean, I every once in a while he let me play him in darts for my bar tab, and I appreciate. And now, there was nothing on the line for me, and he was good at darts, so there was rarely anything on the line for him, but it was cool.
And in full disclosure, Imo and Ian used to work there, so I would get blacked out and do whatever the fuck I wanted. So the guy probably fucking hated me for a reason, but whatever.
Nah, he was an asshole for a long time. He can testify to that, but then he definitely changed a couple of years ago, for the better. So
wait, is he still own that joint or run that joint? Or oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's cool that you work from home and then you still pick up shifts at Smokehouse. So it gives you like a social aspect, even though it's still work, but at least like you're home all day, during the week, and then you get one night out and you're still making money. That's nice.
Yeah, I've never been. Steve knows I've never really been like a big drinker or nothing like that.
Nah.
Go to the bars, you go to Gavin's. I just chill. I usually just try to drive everyone home or whatever. But
make sure I don't get arrested.
Yeah, going to the bar is like somewhat of a getaway, and I get to make money.
Yeah.
The whole situation too. So it's like a win-win for me.
How'd you like the interaction, like with the customers and like the talking with them and stuff? Like,
that
felt
that
natural.
Too, like JR mentioned, it's like, I'm at home all day during the day, and I talk to some people here and there, but for the most part, it's silent, and I don't talk unless I'm talking to myself, and that gets kind of weird. Yeah. So I kind of look forward to like being in front of other people and having a conversation with someone other than myself, or the computer.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God. Yeah. So you're just talking to numbers all day, huh?
Yeah.
So then does this kind of bring us to your gross to net analyst job that you have right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started here. This is my first job after, coronavirus kicked
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
The other job I had ended right before, like ended 3 months before in December. And I was talking to them to go back. I actually, when I was bartending in the smokehouse, one of the ladies I used to work with at that contract job in a different department, though, I used to see her at the coffee machine all the time. One of the ladies came in and sat down. And I was like, oh, that's odd because we worked like 55 minutes away from the smokehouse.
Yeah, extend nowhere near there.
Yeah. So I was surprised to see it. And she was like, don't I know you? I'm like, yeah, your name is whatever her name was.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, you should reach out. Excuse me. You should reach out because a couple of the analysts that they hired right around you before, they just hired again. So I reached out to the manager and she's like, yeah, we are looking. When do you want to start? Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, shit.
A time frame. And then like literally a couple days later, they were like, I got the email. No, we had to stop, put hiring on hold because of coronavirus.
Fuck. Yep. Fuck,
Damn. Dude.
But it all worked out. So
Yeah. So, and then what is a day in the life like for you right now? So you fucking
2 kids, chaos.
Yell at your computer, kick your kids around. Your wife hates you. What else?
2 young children.
A day in the life. Yeah, man. I wake up. We try to get these little ones, ready for school.
And what are the ages, Imo?
The 4-year-old is
4 and what?
like she's like
4 and 2.
94. 94. This is how slow she moves. Every day you think it's the first time that she put clothes on, brushed her teeth, or put her shoes on and jacket. It's just like every day it's a struggle. And we take them to daycare. I come back, I work from home. I scream at my computer or talk to myself. Maybe I'm forced to talk to somebody else.
How old's the other one? One's 4 and the other one's?
She's 1. She'll be 1.
Okay.
So the one will be 4 April 9th, and the other one will be 1 April 30th. So their birthdays are coming up. And
what's with the girls? What's with all the girls, man? You got girls.
You already know it runs in the family, man. I'm outnumbered.
You are outnumbered.
Severely outnumbered between your own family.
There's a trend. I don't want to touch on it too much, but there's a trend of 3 girls, then the last child's a boy. That seems to be what's going on. But,
all right.
Hopefully I can break it.
Hopefully it doesn't take that money.
Yeah.
Does your sisters have kids?
Yeah. So the oldest one, no. The second one after her, yes, she has a daughter who's 11, who looks like she's like 16, and then a son who's 9, who wears like 8.5 in men's.
Yeah, he's a giant already.
14. And then their son, Miles, who I thought was like 8, he's only 5.
Oh my gosh.
They're huge. I don't know what they give kids these days, but I think kids are just bigger in general.
It's all that clean living kids do nowadays.
Oh, here we go. Unbelievable.
You say clean living?
The clean living, baby.
Clean living they're doing nowadays.
Speaking of big, Imo, wasn't there? Tell them about like how your family members and other people in Nigeria, when you go over there, your cousins and people your age would receive you. Like how the fuck you look like that?
So wait, like, you've been back to Nigeria?
Well, I've been there a couple times.
Okay.
We just went back like 3 years ago for my grandmother's 100th birthday party.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for instance, so when we went back for my grandmother's birthday party, one of my grandmother's house helper people, their son is, I think he is 4. My daughter at the time was 1.5, and they were about the same height.
Oh my gosh.
Nigerian people are small.
Just
no
nourishment. They're just malnourished.
Yes, malnourished. It's a third world country.
Too many thick little kids. Yeah. They're just like thinner.
Dude, it's rife with civil war and it's brutal, man. That's awful. Damn, that's a shame, man.
Yeah, I mean the rich definitely keep that money amongst the rich and don't circulate that.
Yeah,
and they keep it that way.
Yeah, that's politics we don't talk about on this show. But
yep. Yeah, sorry.
Well, we can just hope that it gets better,
Talk about Nigerian politics.
Talk about Nigerian politics on the Working Perspective.
Yeah, we should have an episode about that.
Yeah, we're doing a Nigerian politics roundtable.
Please don't invite me to that one.
Nigerian politics roundtable.
I'm unavailable. John Dorito might be a.
He's on
Hell yeah, God. Dorito.
Fucking love Dorito. So, okay. So, dude, Imo, I'll tell you what, man. This was like, I was fucking so amped for this show. I knew Tom was excited. So was Steve. So was Justin. We were really looking forward to it.
Matt was yelling all week about it. He lost his voice.
Yeah. You son of a cocksucking motherfucker.
What was it? What was the one nickname?
Meal?
The cream. No.
Cream saver.
Cream saver. Son of a cream
Oh,
saver.
that one offends.
Cream saver fan of the show. Listen to the show. But nah, dude.
I remember the day that we stopped calling emo MC.
Okay.
We had a sit down talk. Now listen, we're not
going
gonna be
on, Mom?
yeah, it was your mom. We're not gonna be calling Emo MC anymore. His name is
Oh,
Emo, and that's what we're gonna be
That shit
calling
was
him.
embarrassing.
I bet.
Yeah.
Well,
She didn't play that.
I think the same thing happened with Bill Madden and his mom. We were no longer calling him Billy. We were calling him Bill. I was like, okay, you weirdos.
You should told his mom to shut up.
Yeah.
Emo.
Is
also
that what
had
you
to
called
walk
her an
around his-
asshole? Was that when it all started?
Yeah.
Mom, I like MC.
No. Yeah, punch me right in the face.
Emo also used to have to walk around his house trying to hide tattoos on him when he was younger because his mom beat his ass.
Yeah.
He'd seen these tattoos.
What?
It took my parents probably until I was 24, 24.
Before they saw anything?
I saw my tattoo I got when I was 18.
Yeah.
Where are your tattoos at?
One
I
of them's
have
on his
my
stomach. He used to
stomach,
walk.
nightmare.
He's
Nah, I have some on my arms and shoulders.
You have
The
it.
shoulders were tough.
You have
yeah.
the tattoo across your stomach that says nightmare?
Yep.
Like
Nigerian
Nigerian
nightmare.
Nigerian
Yeah.
nightmare.
I
That's
was
right. That's
That
right.
is great.
Christian Okoye.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I think my dad probably saw that when I was in high school, passed out in my bed. I try to sleep
Yeah.
on my stomach all the time, but I had to wake up with both arms in the air. And
Yeah. Damn, so you couldn't sleep with like a shirt off for fucking
Come out of the shower.
Oh yeah.
You gotta
I
wear
have
it
to,
up.
like,
up
stand-
here.
It's up
awkwardly.
here.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's always itching in my stomach. Always itching.
You was walking around like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, why
The
did
hair,
Emo
too.
want a bathrobe for his birthday?
He's like, that's how my sisters wear it. That's how I'm gonna
Yeah,
wear
that's
it.
right. That's
Yeah.
how I learned to wear it.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, we're coming to top of time. Before we get out of here, though, I do want to hear, Tom, can you regale us with the first time you met Emo? Do you remember that story?
The first time I met Emo, I think it was the travel team
Soccer.
where they had the thing, and I think I cried in the back of a car.
I
I did not like losing. So
First time I met him, I
Respect.
cried in front of him.
yeah, I was pissed off
Respect.
that we had lost the game. And I just understand how whatever. And so I was like, this is bullshit, whatever. I don't think I was
Fucking
saying
team
bullshit.
cheated.
I've always loved your passion for the game.
Ah, well, thanks, bro. Thanks. But
Even if
there
it was gay
one-
soccer.
I'm trying to think. There was one story that I was thinking about. So we had a tournament one time. So this is back in the day, right? And I had a cassette player, like a portable, like Walkman cassette player. I don't know if you remember this, but so the Mighty Ducks 2 had just come out. So the Mighty Ducks 2
shit.
soundtrack. I had the soundtrack, and on that
Hell
was
yeah.
Whoop There It Is was one of the songs. That was
There
on it.
is.
Another song like
Tag team back again.
well,
Back-
yeah.
Oh,
Good
get
rest
him,
again.
yeah,
So that was on there, and there was Queen was on there. We Will Rock You. We Are
Yeah.
the Champions.
Yeah.
stuff
It's
like
like a
that.
jock jams.
And
Yeah.
so the one song, so either way, we're at a tournament and we're
Mr.
sitting there
Big
waiting
Stuff.
for our next game, and we're sitting in the like chairs. And so it was like two headphones. And so I got one headphone in over here. Emo's in the chair over here. He's got the other headphone. And we're like sitting there, like, listen to that. And I think you like
Sounds like soccer shit.
Mr. Big Stuff.
That's
Mr.
funny.
Big Stuff. Who do you think you are?
Mr. Big Stuff. You never get my love.
Yeah. So
Hell
that was sitting there fucking listening to the fucking. I got one ear, you got the other. That's
Nice,
awesome.
nice. What about you, Steve? What's your first memory of Imo Ahonkhai?
Shit, it would probably be his first memory of me because I was usually already blacked out drunk when we were younger. But I mean, obviously, Matt was one of my closest friends, his closest friend. So I before I even knew, he didn't go to the same school as me, even though he was always in North Wales. Obviously, Matt's his boy, lived right on 4th Street. So there was a ton of times, just like in the first times was probably pick up football games, fucking around in like his yard. And then obviously by the time high school hit, it was downhill from there. Ball was rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's right.
Nice, dude. Nice. Hey, man.
I'm not going to get into specifics, though. This is a beautiful, happily married, great husband of a man. We're going to keep the stories normal.
That's right.
Nice. Well,
My
dude,
man.
I'll tell you what, Imo, man, it's been a fucking pleasure to have you on. And I know that we're all usually in agreement with this, but we would love to have you back on if you'd be willing to come back on.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Thank you for having me on. I had a great time. This is fantastic to catch up with you guys, and I like what you're doing.
I
And
appreciate that.
invite me back anytime. I'm game.
Dude, love to have you back. Can't wait. Before we get out of here, Imo, is there anything you want to say to your adoring fan base before we take off?
You know what? I love everybody. Thanks for listening. Tune in next time I'm on, or whoever else. It's a great show.
Thank you.
Stay tuned.
Oh, you're the best. Thank you for that. Tom, anything you want to say to the, Toms out there?
To all the Toms out there, I just want to say keep being Toms. Toms are good guys, and keep Tomming.
They're not
keep tomming along.
Joshes.
They're
And
not
they're not
Joshes.
Pauls.
Keep
Not
Tomming.
Pauls.
If you're gonna be a Tom all the way.
Right.
Very nice. Very nice. Strong stem. Anything you want to say to your adoring fan base, the cult of Cabot, before we take off?
No, but since we don't get political on this show, free Griner, Putin, you pussy. Free Griner, yo.
Yeah, what's that about? Get
Free
her the fuck out
Griner,
of there.
yo.
Free
Free
Brit.
Griner.
She's a smuggler.
Olympics gonna come up and shit. Next thing you know, she's gonna be on the Russian team. You're like, what the fuck? That's not fair. He stole her.
Wait, the
Better
basketball
put them doors
player?
up her butt next
Yeah,
time.
They
Brittany
got
Griner.
Brittany Griner over there on
They
some like
fucking
vape.
stole Griner.
They
Putin
locked her
stole
up for
Griner.
some vape. They got her working at like this labor camp.
Steve, you gotta boot
Gulag.
those things, man. You gotta boot those things. You gotta put them up.
Yeah, he fucked up. You know what I mean?
Put them in a bag and put them up top.
Bloop.
Yeah,
Nature's pocket.
Then you get them when you get to your destination.
Nature's
Yes.
pocket. Yeah. But all right. Jalen Dub, anything you want to say to the Dubinators before we take off?
Just everybody out there, stay safe and don't make fun of Will Smith's wife's disease, or he'll
Yeah,
suck shit
hell
out
yeah.
you. Talk,
Yeah,
shake your
fucking
head.
right.
West
Yeah.
Philly Will coming at you.
If there's
Well,
anything
Stand
I've
up.
learned in the last couple weeks is don't talk about people's families and don't put your hands on people. It's as simple as that, boys and girls. We can do it.
Keep Will's
We
wife's
can do
name
it.
out your mouth.
yeah,
I
first
mean, you can
things
date
first.
her and you can take her to a fancy restaurant and maybe make
You
sex
can
with
sleep-
her.
Yeah.
But don't you
Make-
fucking make jokes.
Did you just go Borat and say make sex with her?
Maybe you can make
Make her
sex with
sex.
her, but do
Yeah.
not make a joke.
The
I make
sex
the
can
sex.
definitely be made with her. And,
Oh, I'll make all the sex with
and
her.
her G.I. Jane haircut.
I'll
and-
rub her bald head every day of my life.
Yeah.
I think Will, you know what? There's a lot of hair having motherfuckers walking around too easily ready to make a joke about a bald headed person. And Will had enough. And he
Yeah.
stood up for
Right.
all the bald headed people across the world. God
Right.
bless him. Will's a hero.
Does Will have
My
hair? Is he bald?
Will
His
has
wife
hair, but his
is.
doesn't.
He's
Standing up.
sensitive to his wife's plea. If only everyone knew what it was like to not have hair.
Yeah, Matt,
Live a
don't make the
life
train
follicles.
jump off the tracks.
No, only like 30% of us.
Okay.
Not every.
All right. Well,
Real men.
yep. Shout out to Rogaine. Fan of the show. Listen to the show. But yeah, well, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, coming today by Jalen Dub, Justin Richardson, Schwab Game, Steve Cabot, Captain Jerkbeard, Tom Lavelle, and our guest today was the one and only Imo Ahonkhai. You can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can handle us on Instagram, Working Perspectives Podcast, and you can join us on the Twitter, the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workperspectives@gmail.com, and please like and subscribe so I can get my voice.
So you can take a shower.
Way to play hurt.
Yeah,
Way to play hurt.
love
Wow,
it.
this is like the Michael Jordan game of
This is
podcasts.
a-
right?
Matt's
Yeah.
flu game.
Wow.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's
Imagine.
literally
That's how you do
dying
it.
from the inside. We hear him slowly dying.
Yep. Well, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast. Thanks for listening. Stick around for the ad read. Thanks. See you.
Do you have a message or a story inside of you that you've been waiting to tell? Have you always dreamed of writing a book but are intimidated by the complexities of the book publishing world? Perhaps you want to use a book to launch your public speaking or consulting career. If so, please reach out to Scott and Bell Publishing, located right here in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Scott and Bell Publishing handle all genres and authors with all experience levels. Scott and Bell Publishing gives authors 100% creative freedom and a higher royalty split. They can be found at www.skotbell.com. That's www.s as in Sam, K as in kite, O as in October, T as in Tom, B as in boy, E as in Edward, L as in Larry, L as in Larry.com. That's Scott and Bell Publishing, where the authors go.